Liv made huge shockwaves in the sporting news. They came out and they said they're going to allow their players to play in shorts.
Unless you're a woman.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
And that, it has PGA players shook. There's a lot.
They don't
more
let the women
rumors
drive off
about
the tee either.
People.
On today's Pardon My Take, football is all the way back. We recap a crazy 5 days of college football. We have our good friend Tom Fornelli on the show to recap some more football and talk about the 12-team playoff. We also have Mt Rushmore of Italians to finish Mt Rushmore season. Tom and Hank are teamed up. Great Mt Rushmore finale. We have Who's Back of the Week and the return of Football Guy of the Week, and is brought to you by our friends at Game Time, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. What game are you looking forward to, Hank, with Game Time?
Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Oh, Patriots in the Super Bowl. There you go. Game Time will hook you up. So download the Game Time app, go to the account tab to create a login, and redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. That is the Game Time app, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Download the Game Time app, go to the account tab to create a login, and redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Check them out now. We love you, Game Time. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by Game Time, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Today is Tuesday, September 6th, and football is back.
That was a great weekend, wasn't it?
Oh, my
Starting
God.
on Thursday night, and I know we didn't get a chance to wrap up the backyard brawl on Friday's Pardon My Take, but that was a hell of a way to get into a first full, actual, real weekend of football.
It was that game, the backyard brawl, which was amazing, and then it went seamlessly into Penn State Purdue fourth quarter, and it was just from that moment on, off and running, college football. I don't know why, like we were talking about it before, how college football, it's so much fun. Sundays do kind of like swallow up college football once NFL comes back. They should start college football season in fucking July. Because it was
or
like
just started after the it should be a spring sport now.
Dude, it was so fun watching just wall-to-wall college football. My only critique of the entire weekend was, and it's similar to whenever we have March Madness and then you get to that Monday and you're like, what do I do now? Sunday afternoon, I was just like, give me a couple games. Like, why can't Houston and UTSA play now?
Yeah.
That game was great.
There was nothing until it led into the LSU FSU game, which I think everybody hates Brian Kelly now. I mean, I think that's kind of where we're at.
Fire Brian Kelly.
Yeah, we get into that with Tom a little bit. I did look up his buyout, actually.
What is it?
So it's tough to say because you have to do some negotiations on his behalf because it wouldn't be the full amount of his contract, which at this point would be like $90 million left over. You have to assume it'd be somewhere between like $75 and $85 million right now to buy out Brian Kelly. I say go for it.
Go for it.
Right now, you're throwing good money after bad.
Do you know what it takes? One donor.
That's it.
Takes one rich donor.
What if Coach O gives back his buyout?
Yes.
And then we get two rich donors to match.
It was the fact that it was in New Orleans, in front of a crazy crowd. I think that they mic'd up the bands extra for that game, which every college game should be that, because that, like, the bands and FSU trolling by playing neck all night, which was fucked up. Especially because you can't, like, if you win the game, then you can shove it back in their face. But the fact that you lose on such a tragic extra point, like, the whole weekend, it was App State UNC was just the most incredible game to watch. Where that game, the fact that the UNC kid returned the onside kick for a touchdown and was actually a terrible, terrible play, just shows you how crazy that game had gotten.
It was nuts. So App State scored 40 points in the fourth quarter of that game. And they should have gotten that first 2-point conversion. Where the receiver just kind of started backpedaling really fast. And people forget, like, it's hard to run fast backwards. You got to turn around and run underneath that ball. And then on that kickoff, everybody was like, get down, get down. No, he ran it back. Then they go back down the field. I think everybody knew when you were watching UNC's weird zone defense that they play. They just take like 8 guys, tell them drop back 15, 20 yards, and then just stand perfectly still facing the quarterback.
Do you know what it looked like? It looked like when you play Madden or college football video game and you play it on rookie or freshman. And it's like, this is so easy. Every pass is a 30-yard pass, and then every third is a touchdown.
It was like you're playing against the light blue traffic cones. They just weren't moving at all.
Gene Chizik, like what? I don't even know. You have to fire him.
Do you?
I mean,
he probably has a buyout too.
The fact that it happened, and then the next day, Jackson State, shout out Dion. His kid is awesome. He was 17 for 17 to start the game. But the fact that Jackson State shut down FAMU is what Jack McGuire was calling him, FAMU, and like UNC gave up 24 points to them. It was like a double whammy that they had the App State game, and then the next day you get to watch a team actually play defense.
I love watching old ass Mac Brown have to dance after all these games.
It's so great.
It is pretty good. Like he's
got a gut.
He's got some
hungry.
moves.
He's very hungry.
The Argyle looks real smooth on an old guy trying to dance.
Yeah. I mean, it is like the Carolina Blues is the best color in the game, and somehow Mac Brown makes it look not great.
Yeah. I was actually hanging out with Arian Foster this weekend, and we were watching that game. He was like, I actually wanted to go to UNC. I had never watched them play, never been on campus, but I was willing to sign a letter of intent to go there just because of how cool their uniforms are.
I have a longstanding theory that at least 30% of UNC alum and current students are there just because of the colors, because that's how good the colors are. Like, because when you pick a school, that's your color for life. You get to wear that forever. Mm-hmm. If you're a UNC alum, you get to just wear Carolina blue polo every day, and everyone's like, "What's up?"
Yeah, it's
like, "Oh, well, I went to Carolina."
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
and that's how I chose my rugby team too. Was because they were light blue. It was like I want to wear.
It's fucking
sky blue.
Great color.
Yep,
it's a great color. I'm trying to think of. I mean, Georgia was. I really still can't imagine what it must be like to be on the Oregon sideline and be like, we're this far away? Mm-hmm. Because that's really what it comes down to, is like, it wasn't just an ass kicking, it was a referendum on everything Oregon's been building, where it's like, yeah, this is nice. You guys have had Mario Cristobal put together some incredible recruiting classes, like historically great Oregon recruiting classes, and they're still that far away.
Yeah, it was like watching an NFL team play against a college team.
Also,
Georgia might be better.
I'm kind of thinking Stetson Bennett might be a pro, even though he's got like the best team around him. He looked awesome.
So he did look good, but I mean, he did have.
Yeah, but
it was different size people competing.
Just put him on a really good NFL team.
There you go, boom. Put him on the Patriots.
Then he'll be great.
Yeah. So I feel like when I sat down and watched this game, I was like, okay, 17 is a lot of points.
A lot of points.
That's a lot of points. Oregon, they're not that bad, right? 17 is a lot of points. This lady next to me at the sports book in Lake Charles just leans over and says, honey, they're going to get shut out. Maybe allow a field goal.
Oh, no.
Right off the bat. And I was like, oh, she just honeyed me.
No.
And getting honeyed is, I think it's worse than getting buddied.
Yeah.
Or palled.
Although it's endearing a little bit.
And in the
but
South,
no, it was
it's
a condescending
different.
honey. It was she was like, bless your heart. They're not going to get 3 points.
But it's letting you down easy.
And she was right.
Yeah.
And it felt like it could have been worse. That's the crazy part. It could have been worse.
Easily. Like it was, and again, Oregon's not a bad team. This isn't a team that, like, they will win, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 games. Like, they'll still be good in the Pac-12. You can't be on the field with them. We basically ripped off the Band-Aid and got to see the January 1st college football playoff game that's going to happen between Alabama or Georgia and whoever gets the 4 seed.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't know what other team. I mean, we're watching Clemson right now, and their offense, they're the same team. They've actually picked it up a little, but they're the same team as last year.
That
where their
defense is incredible.
incredible.
It's really good. But Georgia, like watching Georgia, they don't have any weaknesses.
I have a crazy thought.
Their biggest weakness is their returning quarterback that won them a national championship.
Right.
That's
right.
Georgia's biggest issue.
Yeah,
So
the guy
they're
that
pretty good.
no one trusts. Where everyone's like, someone's like, yeah, Stetson Bennett, he's not very good. What? Oh, he's not very good. Okay, what's the worst could happen? They could win another national title. I don't know. I mean, he did step up big in that game. For Clemson, I have a question. This is a very stupid question. I know it doesn't work, but I'm going to ask it anyway. When you have that good of a defensive line, why not put a couple of them on offensive line? Because their O-line sucks. Just be like, you guys are so good. Just maybe play both sides of the ball.
I think you could do that if you just said just like run the ball.
Yeah,
We're just
like,
going to run it.
Yeah, like you guys are such insane athletes, and you're so good at playing defensive line. You can't be. You would probably be better than a bad offensive line, right?
I think so, yeah. There are some teams that have done that in the past.
Why not?
And had players play two ways.
Yeah, just be Dabo. That actually would fit Dabo too, where he like just gets guys. He's like, yeah, you're gonna have to play every down.
Just our biggest, strongest guys are just
And no
gonna be in the
NIL.
trenches.
Yeah, no NIL money for you, but you have to play both sides of the ball.
It's just you just get labeled as a trench guy.
Yeah.
Not offense, not defense.
Trenches.
We got the best trench team.
You just do the trenches.
There shouldn't be that big of a difference, but I feel like they put so much more time into making sure their defensive line and their tackles and their ends are like explosive and fast.
Right.
And they just take their offensive line and they're like, okay, we're just going to get you fat. We're just
Right.
going to get you as big as possible.
That's true. They do the offensive linemen. I love always seeing like offensive linemen when they come as freshmen and they're like 230 pounds, and
Yeah.
then like a year and a half later with a weight program and food, they're like 290.
Jumping back to Stetson Bennett real quick, did we ever figure out does he have any siblings that are older than him?
I don't know.
Like, is he? Because
Look it up, Jake.
it would be very funny if his dad, who was Stetson Bennett III, I would imagine, had a couple kids, like a couple boys. He's like, no, not yet. No,
Yeah.
you're not Stetson. And
Yeah.
then the third kid that came out, that's Stetson. That's Stetson the fourth right there.
Yeah. What does he
He's
got?
the oldest of 5
Ah,
children. His brothers are Knox, Luke, and Maverick.
That
Oh,
is
God.
so
Sister
southern.
named Olivia.
That is so southern.
I feel-
Knox, Luke, and Maverick.
I feel like the Stetson Bennett family just decided to keep having Stetson Bennett's until one fulfilled the destiny of becoming the Georgia national champion quarterback.
Luke Bennett definitely. He could be a nice over the middle type wide receiver.
Really, I feel like Luke Bennett is the lawyer that gets Maverick Bennett out of all his hot water jams.
Maverick Bennett is definitely the
And
country
Knox and
music
Luke
guy.
are twins.
Oh, okay.
Wait, it's Luke and who?
Luke and Knox.
Maverick
Knox
is
and
the
Maverick.
is the country music guy, and then Luke.
Luke and Knox have definitely
They've
pulled
kissed.
the Eiffel Tower
They've
before,
kissed.
if you know what I'm
They've
saying.
kissed, for sure. We know that all twins kiss. All right, let's talk some more football before we do that. Coors Light. There's only one beer that's out there that's literally made to chill, and that's Coors Light. The mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold. That way you always know it's time to chill. When you need to hit reset, just open a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged, and it's literally made to chill. It's as crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. We know that for a fact because we went to Golden, Colorado and checked it out. Win exclusive chill merch, fun local experiences, even a trip to New York, Chicago, or LA. Enter to win at CoorsLight.com/take. Sweepstakes ends 9/19/2022. Game ends 9/6/2022. 50 U.S. states, D.C. 21 plus. Void where prohibited. For rules, visit CoorsLightSummer.com. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. The other thing I had from this weekend, it's so funny how quickly when football comes back, everything else like ceases to exist. I think Dylan Cease for the White Sox had a no-hitter. I think was it all the way to the ninth inning, and there was like they were trying to flash the graphics on the ESPN bottom line. It was like, who cares?
Did he actually have one?
No, he had one
because he's on my fantasy team.
He had one. He didn't. He did not end up having a no-hitter. I can't remember when he gave it up because I literally was like, football's on. I have to watch and see if Iowa can get another safety.
Oh, that's good because he's on my bench. I didn't start him, so
That would have been a disaster.
huge news.
But it's just like it dawned on me like, oh yeah, baseball's still going on.
Yeah.
I care again in
Kind of.
October,
Technically, baseball is going
but
on.
football is back.
This
And it's
is-
just, it takes everything. All my mental energy just goes to football.
Yeah, college football all day Friday, really, because I was spending all day Friday decompressing from what happened on Thursday night,
Right.
and then getting ready for the earlier games on Friday. So that day was a wash. Saturday, all day, forget about it. And there's so many games going on Saturday that you forget are even happening. And then you get the live look in occasionally, and you forget, oh, yeah, that's actually – I totally forgot about UTEP, Oklahoma during the game.
Oh, I didn't. I had the double on that. Yeah, I was going to say I didn't forget about it even because I had 43 plays, I think, so that was too many.
Oh, shout out Dana. Hank's best friend, Dana Holgerson. A lot of haters out there will be like, oh, Classic Houston not playing defense, blah, 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 37-35. No. It went to what, 3 overtimes?
3 overtimes.
3 overtimes. So Dana, bad news for the rest of college football. Dana learned how to coach defense.
I also hate the new rule of the double. I know it was a new rule last year, but you have to go for 2 after the third overtime.
It was
or
very confusing.
On the third overtime. Sucks. But yeah, Dana, I was watching that game. Fucking loud as hell at UTSA. That the worst basketball stadium in the world. The what is it called? Alamo Dome?
The Alamo Dome.
That place sucks to watch basketball.
Yeah.
Seems cool for football. Sucks to watch basketball.
Dana's mullet looks great, too.
Yeah.
I do like how they're having the U.S. Open like that. That gives you a little bit of sports in the week, like meaningful sports.
Actually, you know what? I like the U.S.
We'll get to
Open
my-
being
my
on
who's
TV
back.
right
Something
now.
big happened
But
today.
then I like it on
Curious.
TV because you can just like laugh and be like, oh, yeah, haha. What losers are watching the U.S. Open right now?
Well, what they keep doing is because ESPN has the rights to it, they'll cut in like a timeout of the football game, being like, also this is happening on ESPN too. It's like, okay,
Jake mushed
Football.
Serena Williams. That was nice of you, Jake.
yeah, down goes the goat.
You went to go see. You were can't wait to see the goat.
Yeah, I
And she
saw
got
her
her
in
ass
doubles
kicked.
with Venus.
Yeah.
What'd you
They
think?
lost.
You mushed both of them.
Did
Yeah.
you tweet thanks, Serena?
I think
Oh,
it said
Oh.
what a career, something like that.
you didn't do the hashtag thanks, Serena?
I did not do the hashtag.
I did.
Thank you.
Did you get
I did
a?
the hashtag Serena. It comes up with a goat. It's pretty cool.
I did the hashtag thanks, Serena.
Yeah.
Did you get one of those giant balls?
No, I got a honey deuce.
What's that?
It's a novelty drink there. You would love it.
A honey deuce.
Did you drink a water too?
Of course.
That was close. Was it cool? How was the atmosphere?
It was really, really cool. I think even if you're not a tennis fan, you guys would enjoy it. But again, we'll get to my who's back. Huge upset today.
Oh, what? That they didn't let Djokovic play in this tournament?
Nope.
There can't be upsets when the best player doesn't play.
No, there's a new guy.
It's a good story.
I'm a fan of this guy.
Okay, but
Yeah.
there can't be upsets when the best player in the world doesn't play. Is not allowed to play because he has freedom of choice. Is that his only crime?
No, wide open tournament now.
Okay. I'm trying to think what other games.
Florida.
Oh yeah, Anthony Richardson, Hank, you deserve all the credit. That was an electric game. I love too that they were like Utah might be struggling with the humidity right as they show a guy puking. It's like, yep, that could be the case. Utah is still very, very good. It's just Anthony Richardson he's the man.
People
Won't
don't
back
talk.
down.
People
Won't
don't
back
talk
down.
about the altitude affecting you in the reverse order too.
Yeah.
Like if you come from a high elevation, that air is just too thick. It
Yeah.
clogs you all up. You basically choke on the air when you get down in the swamp.
And I just like Cam Rising because I just think of Boomer, which is going to come back. Cam Bad Moon Rising, yeah. Okay.
And Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, I mean it was not a great exciting game because everyone expected Ohio State to be fireworks. But we'll talk about it with Tom. We break down a bunch of stuff with Tom. More college football talk, 12-game playoff, all that stuff, and Mount Rushmore of Italians.
I actually think that that Cincinnati's loss to Arkansas is better for Cincinnati. Like it proved that they still kind of belong because you could say that they outplayed the Razorbacks for a lot of the game.
Yeah, they did.
Although I do like Arkansas's quarterback.
That was the battle of the PMT recurring guests.
KJ Daniels, yeah. Who? Oh,
Coach
Sam
Bruce
Pittman.
Fickle
Coach.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and Pittman, yeah.
Pittman's is the fucking man.
They're both awesome. I like both teams, but I feel like Cincinnati had a lot to lose coming out this year. Everyone was going to be like, oh, last year was a fluke, et cetera, et cetera. I think they're still very good. I think that they're like a top 20 team when all said and done.
They went down to Fayetteville and held their own, and they were in that game. All right, let's do who's back, and then we will talk some more college football with Tom Fornelli. By the way, tomorrow we have a show. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday this week. Tomorrow's show, Pete Prisco and Stu Feiner. I think it's the combined shortest guest we've ever had. But we talk about NFL. We're going to break down who we like, wins, losses, all that stuff. Stu has quite the system of over-unders and how he did the whole NFL betting season. But before we get to who's back, it is brought to you by our friends at Visible. Here we talk about the greats, great games, great plays, and great wireless. Visible keeps upping their wireless game, so we're going to keep talking about them. Visible starts at just $30 a month for a one-line plan, taxes and fees included, no family plan needed. That means you don't need 4 other people to get a $30 a month plan with taxes and fees included. You get unlimited data and hotspot, which means you can stream as much as you want from pretty much anywhere. Seriously, all powered by Verizon. Yup, that network. And now they have a new plan that includes 5G ultra wideband and global calling, so you score a premium network experience. Set yourself up for a wireless win. Join Visible. Switch today at Visible.com. 5G ultra wideband and global calling available only at Visible Plus plan for data management practices. Learn more at Visible.com. Additional terms apply. Again, check it out, Visible.com. Great wireless for a very affordable price. Hank, who is your Who's Back of the week?
I have a couple.
Okay. Whomps.
My first one, classic, shorts.
Yes, good call, Hank.
Liv made huge shockwaves in the sporting news. They came out and they said they're going to allow their players to play in shorts.
Unless you're a woman.
Unless you're a woman.
Probably.
And that, it has PGA players shook. There's a lot
They don't
more
let the women
rumors
drive off
about
the tee either.
people joining Liv now after this announcement. So shorts are back.
Shorts are back.
There are a lot of players. I bet you're going to see like a big influx. VJ Singh's going to be like, wait, I can let the gams out?
Shorts. That's
Let's
why
go.
Phil did it. My son made it the whole summer without wearing shorts, so he will not be joining the Live Tour. Shout out to him. Just every day. No shorts. Pants.
Not in a bathing suit?
Nope. I had to get him like a swim pants. Listen, I respect it. It's the old Soprano line. A Don never wears shorts. So that's just he's just the boss of the family. He doesn't wear
I
shorts.
feel like Dons can wear shorts now, though. I feel
No,
like
that was-
things have really changed. That's a time capsule of like the year 2005, 2006. Now I think shorts are everyone's game.
Do you know that that was actually like a real thing that happened to James Gandolfini? He got called in the middle of the night, random number,
Oh, yeah.
and the
I did
person
know
was
this.
like, "Hey, I like what you're doing. Like you're a great actor. Just so you know, a Don never wears shorts."
I feel like
Fucking great. No, listen, a Don never wears shorts.
Times have
A
changed.
Don never wears shorts.
Also, just connecting some dots, though. But that video of Max Homa hitting the hole-in-one last week.
In shorts.
asterisks.
My other who's
I
back,
will. Let me just say this: if Max Homa joins the Live Tour, I will never watch the Live Tour, and I will berate him constantly. Brooks is fine. We expected Brooks to do it. Max,
I would say if they offer Max over $100 million.
No, I'm going to say he's a money grabbing. Like that's bullshit.
I will get over that.
Yeah. How can you fucking face your family? All that shit.
then my other who's
Brooks
back.
is just living his best
What
life.
if they just offer Max like 3 great-looking golden retrievers? He's like, yeah, those are very cute dogs.
He
I
wouldn't
will
even.
join."
He would forget to ask for money.
He might.
He would be the worst Live player ever. He wouldn't even be rich.
My other who's back is Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's cons week. There's a lot of cons drama. I don't know if anyone was going to talk about the Harry Styles situation, but
What happened, Hank?
let me get through Brendan first.
Okay.
It's Cannes Film Festival. This is the classic. Every time this happens, they do the standing ovations. Every movie there, people get like a 17-hour standing ovation. It's always someone.
They always time it, too. They always let you know, oh, they had the longest ovation ever.
But Brendan Fraser apparently plays like a super fat guy who wears a fat suit, and it's like a very emotional movie. He's doing press. He got the big standing ovation. He was crying, and then everyone, is like, this is the his career's back. Brendan Fraser's back.
Hell yeah.
I love that. Was it ever gone, though, truly?
Yeah, he like Me Too'd, and they got canceled.
Wait, Brendan got Me Too'd?
He came out being like, I got like,
He got harassed.
Yeah.
Oh, and
then
did
he got
Spacey,
blacklisted.
So he got blacklisted for somebody
Speaking out.
else.
I think he was blacklisted before because he wasn't a great actor. I think he's a great actor, but people might not have thought he was a great actor.
I mean, he got a standing ovation for like
No, he's
7
back.
minutes.
Yeah, no, he's back.
I think some
And his
of it,
movies are good.
Yeah, no, of
They
course.
he was like jacked before, but then he got super fat.
Ah,
That kind
that's
of
bullshit.
tight casting.
Yeah. That's bullshit. Yeah, it was like The Mummy 3 or something. Didn't do well.
But then The Rock tweeted and said,
We have everything we've just said is completely guessed.
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
So let's see.
He got jerked off, and then people were like, "No, you can't be here anymore." That's really fucked up.
Well, it was like some Harvey Weinstein shit where it was like, you got to do this or else I'm going to like kill your career. And he spoke out, and then his career got killed.
So it was a guy named Philip Burke who was the head of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. They host the Golden Globes. And Burke like sexually assaulted him. And then Brendan Fraser like said, "Oh, you tried to make a joke and he grabbed my ass and all this stuff." And then Burke, I'm reading all this in real time right now, so I'm probably getting most of it wrong. Then Burke blacklisted Brendan Fraser afterwards. But now Brendan Fraser's back getting standing ovations at cons and probably future Oscar winner.
But did The Mummy 3 flop?
I don't know, but The Rock tweeted it. He said, he supported me coming into his Mummy Returns franchise for my first ever role, which kicked off my Hollywood career. So shout out to Brendan Fraser. He gave us The Rock.
I just looked up Mummy 3, and the first people also ask is, was The Mummy 3 a flop? The film failed both critically and financially. Shit.
But that just...
I still love Brendan
If
Fraser.
you make it to the
If they
third
make the
movie,
third,
you're already
exactly.
successful.
Right.
You've got
still
The Mummy
love him.
1 and The Mummy 2. Were those flops? No.
School Ties?
Was Bedazzled with Elizabeth Hurley a flop? Probably not. I saw it at least 6 times.
Yeah, bonk.
Yeah.
Great bonk.
I'll wear that bonk proudly.
Same.
Encino Man?
Great movie.
I'm just naming Brendan
Oh,
Fraser
George of the
movies.
Jungle.
Yeah.
The Bubble Boy, right? Wasn't he the Bubble Boy?
Was he?
I'm pretty sure he was a Bubble Boy.
I think he was... Was he the Bubble Boy?
Yeah.
I thought that was someone else.
And
But
then-
you might be right. Yeah, it might be... Yeah, he might have been Bubble Boy.
The Harry
No,
Styles.
Jake Gyllenhaal was the Bubble Boy.
Fuck.
Olivia.
Damn it.
It should
Wait,
have been
what
Brendan
was-
Fraser.
What's the
Penguin
Steve Nebraska?
and Catwoman.
What's Steve Nebraska? When he was the fucking pitcher.
Oh, The Natural, right?
No, the Natural's different. The Natural.
It's another one of those one-word...
The Scout.
The Scout. The
Yeah.
Scout. Yeah, I knew that.
That's what I meant.
Yep. Airheads.
Dude, he came in a helicopter and he pitched a perfect game
Yeah.
and hit like 5 home runs.
Didn't he pitch a perfect... I think he only threw strikes.
I think it was an immaculate
Yeah,
game.
it was, yeah. Dude, this guy's a legend. Fuck the guy who grabbed his ass.
Oh, wait, he's in Batgirl, too.
Yeah, he was the Penguin.
Oh, really?
He was the Penguin in Batgirl?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Was he in Morbin?
I know, I'm not seeing anything.
All right, well, I just wanted on the record that we're a pro Brendan Fraser podcast.
Yeah, come on the show.
And fuck that guy who grabbed his ass. If I ever see him, I'll spit on him.
I'm gonna-
just like
Harry Styles
There we
and
go.
Olivia Wilde,
Nice.
Chris Pine, Chris Pratt,
Yeah, Pine.
Chris Pine.
John
I
Prine, Chris Pratt, Chris Pine.
I am going to have to do a little bit more research into what the actual drama is, because it's one of those things where I knew that there was like tensions or whatever. I don't know what the actual like tensions are between Olivia Wilde, who's the director, Florence Pugh, who's the actress, Harry Styles. There's some type of love triangle, controversy, co-star jealousy, actor stuff that I full hand up. I don't know.
I'm
the
going to
extent
go
of
out on
it.
a limb here and say that the issues revolve around cocaine and sex.
But then tonight,
And maybe a card game.
there was a video
Possibly.
of Harry Styles walking back to his seat. Chris Pine is sitting next to him,
Pine. Chris Pine.
John Prine, Chris Pratt, Pine.
and Harry Styles
John Prine's the sexiest
appears
of
to
the three.
spit on Chris Pine, who like is like taken aback. And it's just like, what's going on here? What is going on?
Harry Styles is wearing maybe the most egregious collar that I've ever seen in my life. He's got like 2 neckties.
Perfectly normal. Color.
Perfectly normal collar.
I did
Find
a-
a new slant.
I did a poll to ask the people because I also don't know what's going on. And I said, we will just ride with whoever the people decide. And it was Harry Styles 11%, Chris Pine 27%.
Okay.
Where's the other?
Do you think
Aaron
that,
Rodgers in jail 62%
you-
was the voting.
Do you think that they're just like trying to act bitchy towards each other, like drum up publicity for this movie that I've never heard of before this moment?
I like that you're staying woke about it, Billy.
Kind of like the Chris Rock
Slap.
Will Smith
Yeah,
thing.
you were proven to be correct about that, right?
So wrong.
I don't. Who knows?
Okay.
They're all guilty.
Does anyone know?
Here's-
What even is life?
Here's
Like,
my
this-
official takeaway on the
This
situation.
spit's weird.
They all kind of suck, and the new Harry Styles album's awesome.
Wait. I don't. Harry Styles' music is awesome, and Chris Pine is awesome in Hell and High Water. So I
that's
like
him
them both.
in Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
Oh, but Ben Foster's better in Hell or High. Final
both
takeaway:
good.
Ben Foster, great actor.
They're both
Harry
really
Styles, new album kicks ass.
Also, Harry Styles, I guess, is a Packers fan, so I'm Chris Pine for life. I think we settled that. That was PMT talking Hollywood. We nailed every part of the last 10 minutes of the podcast. All right, PMT.
My Who's Back of the Week is Big Ben.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger is back because he is hosting a podcast. I did not think that
course.
was going to happen.
Oh, you mean the guy who created his own documentary?
No, I mean, Big Cat, is there anything about Big Ben? Just bear with me here.
Yeah.
In his past, where he would like go do a piece of media once a week, every single week, and talk about himself and about his coaches.
Yeah.
Has he ever? Oh, yeah, his entire career he's been doing that. So now he's doing his own podcast. It's called Footballin', which is a fun little Pittsburgh way to say footballin'.
Nice.
Because Big Ben played in Pittsburgh for a long time. So he's going to be doing a podcast, and I'm sure that it's just going to devolve into him talking about various injuries. It should just be him talking about ranking the injuries that he's played through.
I really hope it's just like, I wouldn't have made that throw.
Just second guess.
Like that pick six that Mitch had, I never would have thrown that. I would have thrown it to the open guy for a touchdown.
I hope he's questioning Mike Tomlin's play calling, but not this year. I hope he's questioning it last year. So everything that he calls for Mitch, he's like, see, now if Mike had opened up the playbook last year, we really could have had some fun out there.
There's definitely going to be a moment where Big Ben's podcast makes ESPN bottom line, where he says something and then he has to retract it.
Yeah.
He's going to have to do some retraction.
What's up, guys? This is Big Ben here, brought to you by Roman Swipes. No, he does. This is National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Very important time. Always wear a helmet.
Oh, that's going to be a must-listen podcast.
Yeah.
We will definitely be doing a review of that podcast on this podcast. All right, my Who's Back of the Week
We should cut up Big Ben on his podcast and then ask him questions and then just hit play and have him say the answers back to us.
Yeah.
Big Ben out of context.
We should definitely get it. Yeah.
Let's do that.
We'll have a super cut. My Who's Back of the Week is CM Punk. Another thing that I'm going to have to look more into, but I'm just going to side with CM Punk no matter what. But his press conference went super viral this weekend. Big time drama in the AEW. Essentially, it seems like there's locker room issues. I also watched the press conference, and I was like, oh, that seemed like he kind of ripped into some people. And then I saw an alternate angle, and Tony Khan's just sitting next to him the whole time. And it felt like CM Punk was kind of just shoving it in everyone's face, which that's why he's electric. That's why he's CM Punk.
Yeah, even when he's just doing a work, he's actually being serious, right?
Yeah. No,
he's just kind of always. It's never what CM Punk says. It's always your reaction to it that changes.
I still think CM Punk could show up on Monday Night Raw being like, "Fuck you, Vince." Even when he was well gone from the WWE, I was like, "No, he's coming back now. Like he for sure is going to come back." So, but yeah, it was. What CM Punk is like one of the best to do it. So I like whenever he speaks facts. He's one of those guys that if he's giving an impassioned speech, you know that he's most likely right and also has thought it out well enough that it's not just out of nowhere that he's just pissed off at everyone.
He's a big time person who will sit down and say the meanest, most honest things as calmly as possible.
Right.
And the fact that he's so calm when he's saying these things about you makes you overreact to him, and then you look like the asshole.
Yeah.
It's a great skill set to have.
Yes. Billy.
My Who's Back is Giselle. So over the weekend, a little bit of a breaking story that then went back. But I don't know if Hank has any opinion on this, but Giselle and Tom Brady might have divorced, but got into a fight. It was weird. I just saw an offhand headline on Friday
From?
that said,
Cite your sources. Was it a real headline?
it was like a gossip magazine. I don't know.
It was a study?
Apparently, he went to the Bahamas or something, and they may have gotten into a huge fight, and then Giselle may have flown off to Costa Rica.
Whoa.
So they might be divorced now, or
I have no idea.
I mean, you have to take
This
the
is
box.
one of those gossipy things, was he retired or not? Are they still together? But it was kind of sad because Giselle and Tom Brady were like a super power couple.
I think you have to take the Bucks. week 1. I think you have to take the Bucs for the season because if we know anything about Tom Brady, he's like, I'm going to win her back by winning another Super Bowl.
He's going to have a lot more time to focus on football.
Correct.
I don't know. I need to wait this one out because at some point he's probably also going to get back with her.
The question is
the
he
season.
heartbroken? And I don't.
He's quote unquote sad.
Okay, that's sad.
But sad for Tom Brady is like I'm just gonna rip apart more defenses.
Is he going? But then, what if Tom Brady just gets slutty with it?
Yeah.
What if he has like a midlife crisis?
All right, so let's just say that the story developing on where we're going to gamble with this, but there's definitely a way you have to pick a lane on how this potential divorce could go.
I would just like to say, Giselle, I know you're a big AWL. Come on the podcast and talk about your feelings. We'd love to help you through this very difficult part of your life.
I'd like to say, Giselle, what PFT said right there, he's probably coming on a little too hard. If he's bothering you, just let me know, and I'll take care of it.
I'd also like to add to that Big Cat, sometimes he tries to explain what I'm saying to you. But if it came across that way, that's not my intention at all. But I just think that, mental health should come first for you, Giselle. So please, if you want to discuss your emotions, your feelings, if you just want to, maybe go out for a quick drink, talk about it, come on, part of my take.
Yeah, Giselle. And again, PFT, maybe getting a little out of line there, but that's okay. You should definitely come on, pardon my take. I would love to talk to you. Also, just throwing this out there, you are 5'11", so you would be taller than PFT.
It'd be a nice change of pace. You ever a guy go down on you standing up?
All right.
That's
Jake,
a joke. I'm not going to eat Giselle's pussy.
Bonk.
What gave it away, Billy?
My Who's Back of the Week is American tennis. We have a very big feel-good story in the U.S. Open. So Frances Tiafoe, American, upsets Rafa Nadal today in the round of 16. And so here's his story. His dad, well, first of all, his parents were immigrants from Sierra Leone. His dad was a construction worker who helped build a tennis center in Maryland, became the custodian, and that's how his son picked up tennis.
Wow.
And now he just beat Rafa on the biggest stage.
He grew up living in a custodian's closet, actually living and sleeping in there, of a tennis facility. Now he beat Rafa.
Yeah.
But he didn't beat Djokovic.
He did not.
Okay.
But
that is a cool story.
It is a cool story. I think he'd be great on this show, especially if he wins the tournament. And
what was his name again? Remember what you did to the last guy that you
Frances
brought up?
Tiafoe. Kyrgios?
No.
He's still in it too.
McQuarrie.
Oh, Sam Querrey. Yeah, it was the last match of his career.
Yeah, you ended that guy's career.
Well, this time, look, he beat Rafa.
Okay.
Tiafoe, come on the podcast.
Tiafoe,
Yeah.
let's go.
And he's a big DC sports fan. Brad Beal was in his box today.
Wow.
In his player's box.
Brad Beal was pumping
all up in that
fist
box.
pumping his box.
LeBron tweeted about him, so baby Bron is back. He called him Young King.
Oh,
Okay,
there we
God-
go. Nice.
God damn
All right,
it.
now I'm in. Yeah, he's the baby Braun of the week.
Yeah, so this is a great story. Tiafoe versus Kyrgios final is what I'm hoping for.
Wow.
That would be electric.
That
would-
Kyrgios is
Kyrgios was humping the
fucking
air today
hilarious
in
to
doubles.
watch.
Yeah.
He is funny.
Yeah.
It was like the first first set of the first It was
yeah.
the very beginning of the game, and he was like smashing his
He beat
racket
number
and
one
freaking
yesterday.
out.
Yeah.
So number one and number two are down.
Who's number one?
It was
Djokovic.
Medvedev.
Oh,
But
Medvedev.
it's
From
actually
Russia.
Djokovic,
Well, he's disqualified because he didn't get vaccinated.
which is wrong. I think
What?
we can all
to
agree.
disqualify him or
Yeah,
to not
to
get vaxxed?
disqualify for someone making a personal choice. It's complete bullshit.
Anyways, yeah, Frances Tiafoe, keep an eye on him this week.
Okay, that is a very cool story. Thank you, Jake, because now you're pulling at my heartstrings. Has Jeremy Schaap done a really soft, sad story about him yet?
I don't believe so. but
When
I'll
that
verify.
happens, forward it to me, and I'll be all the way in. Tom Rinaldi or Jeremy Schaap?
Well, Tom Rinaldi's not with them anymore.
Yeah, but maybe he'll do one just because, Tom Rinaldi's like a fucking fly to a light. Like, he sees someone go through some type of tragic hardship, and he's like, I gotta fucking do a soft voice over this.
My prediction is that he will be drafted by an NFL team next year,
Tiafoe?
just so that they can use the
Yeah.
story during the draft coverage. But no, Tiafoe's awesome. Jake, I love how pure and innocent Jake is, where he thought that he could be Yeah, he's a good athlete. He can be drafted by an NFL team.
Tiafo. Yeah, he plays tennis. Yeah, no, I would imagine like Tom Rinaldi. Like, imagine being Tom Rinaldi and meeting people and just like being like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Where you from?" Blah blah, blah. And be like, "So, both your parents still alive?"
Tell me
Like-
about the hardest moment of your
Yeah.
life.
Any bouts with cancer or anything you want to tell me about? Like,
This young man
Just
overcame everything.
Also, this is the first time since 2003 Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, or Serena are not in the US
okay, and then
Grand Slam
a huge
quarterfinals.
asterisk. A huge asterisk.
Yeah, Federer's injured. That's the asterisk.
Oh my god.
Good point.
Jake.
And Jake mushed Serena. So
Yeah, you killed Serena's career. You
triple
ended two
asterisk.
careers in this U.S. Open. Incredible job by you.
I was not at her last singles match. I was at her last
doubles match.
with her sister.
And-
Which
but
was
no,
her last match.
that means that
No.
that means that she's 0 for 2 since Jake has seen her.
Over
Yes.
one after. No.
She lost the doubles match.
Also,
Yeah, and she won on yeah.
I'm just gonna throw this out
0 for
there.
2. Jake, the kiss of death.
I'd just like to call my shot real quick. She's not retired.
You think she's coming back?
She is
Yeah, definitely.
not retired. She is not retired.
Well, she's going to have a kid. And as we've all learned from her success at the Australian Open, that should actually be considered
She
PEDs.
won it while pregnant, right?
It should be considered PEDs. I think, what was the explanation that we came up with?
There's more blood. Like her cycling.
She's not menstruating anymore.
What was
So
that dumb theory
So
we
she
came
gets
up with?
no. It ended up being kind of right.
Yeah, no, it was.
So since she doesn't menstruate, there's more high density red blood cells circling through her body, which can carry the oxygen more efficiently. And then like a week after we just made that up, some doctor was like, "There's some truth to the fact that if you're just barely pregnant, that your body can operate on a better cardiovascular scale."
Yeah.
So fuck yeah.
She is not retired.
She's
She
gonna
is,
get pregnant and win another Open.
dude. The thing that I keep going back to, it's like Tiger. When people are like, "Oh, Tiger's retired," you think Tiger or Tiger will retire? You think he won't go to Augusta every year? You think Serena, like, she can just go to Wimbledon, have some fucking strawberries
Here's
and
the
cream?
thing with like golf, you're guaranteed 36 holes of golf. Like tennis, you can play at you're 60 years old, you lose 6 love, and it's like, is it worth it?
I think it still would be fucking cool.
For golf, you get 2 full days.
But she can like, she's gonna work herself back into shape where she's like, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
she-
I'm ready to go."
She beat the number 2
Right.
woman, so
Right. You don't retire when you do that.
Right.
All right. Let's get to Tom Fornelli and our Mt Rushmore of Italians. It is brought to you by our friends at Paramount Plus. Go to ParamountPlus.com to start your free trial and get access to your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, as well as additional exclusive content. The NFL on CBS is streaming live on Paramount Plus all season long. Kicking off September 11th, watch your live local NFL on CBS games every Sunday at home on your TV or any device on the go. Catch feature holiday matchups on Thanksgiving and Christmas and 3 postseason games, including the AFC Championship game. We're giving away 1 code for a free Paramount Plus account so you can watch along with us. Go to redeem a gift card on the bottom of the Paramount Plus website to redeem. We're going to put it in the YouTube right now. So if you're watching the YouTube, you're here early, you get this. There's going to be a pin and a serial number. Go redeem that code if you're the first one. Congratulations, you got a free Paramount Plus code. If you miss out on this one, tune into the Lottery Ball segment. We're going to throw another one out there. I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to say we're going to throw another one out there. Go to ParamountPlus.com to start your free trial to watch your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, as well as additional exclusive NFL content. Let me just do an off script real quick. Reed, I was away this weekend with my family, so I was forced to stream a bunch of football. Streaming has pretty much caught up to cable in terms of how fast it is. I was watching everything streaming. I did not feel like I was behind. Paramount Plus, check it out now. You can watch NFL on CBS, ParamountPlus.com. The streaming has gotten incredible. Okay, here he is, Tom Fornelli. Okay, we now welcome on our very good friend. It is Tom Fornelli. We're going to talk some college football. We're going to do a Mt Rushmore. He's being teamed up with his nemesis, Hank. Tom can be found at CBS Sports Cover 3 podcast. He's covering college football. He is my favorite college football writer. Boom, I just said it. I don't think Andy does writing anymore.
Suck
so
on
I
that,
can say
Staples.
that. Yeah, I can say that. All right, so week 1, crazy. Where do you want to start? I mean, should we just start with Iowa because that is the craziest story? Iowa winning 7-3 and not scoring a touchdown.
That's of everything that happened this weekend. Iowa is the one thing you want to talk about.
Yes, I do. It was incredible. They punted the same amount of times of first downs they had.
I saw the stat. I included it in my column today. Since 2020, Iowa has won 6 games in which it punted at least 8 times. The rest of the FBS combined has won 2 games like that, where they punted at least 8 times. That's Iowa in a nutshell.
So Ferentz has got to be like, fuck yes, I'm so pumped to win a game like that, right? Like, he would rather win this game this way because he's won every type of football game that you can imagine, given how long that he's coached at Iowa. So if he finally gets one where he's got 7 points, didn't score an offensive touchdown, and then that stat that you just threw out there, that's got to be, like, he's got to be kind of happy.
I don't know if he's happy, but he doesn't seem to give a shit about the offense being terrible, seeing as how it's been terrible for a few years, and the fan base is essentially revolting against the offensive coordinator, who just happens to be his son, Brian. And that offense is just, they didn't score. They started like, I can't remember how many, but a few of their possessions, they started in plus territory, and they still couldn't get any points on the board outside of the 1 field goal with the 2 safeties. It was just, I think Spencer Petrus's QBR was a 1.1, and I saw from somebody that that's the lowest in the QBR era for a single game for an FBS quarterback. It really was a record-setting performance for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
It was so bad that I actually, I had to tune in because I didn't have that game on my radar. And then I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on in here? And then, when it was 5-3, and I was just like, wait, I got to tune into this. And then getting that safety to make it 7 is so beautiful. All right, so all jokes aside, biggest takeaway from week 1, give it to me.
I think Georgia is better than last year's team. Yeah. I think that, there was the concerns because the defense last year was just – it was one of the best defenses we've ever seen at the college level. They lose a bunch of players to the NFL, but they still have guys like Jalen Carter on the defensive line. And just the way that they've recruited, you knew the defense was still going to be good. You saw Malachi Starks, a 5-star freshman, make that one-handed interception on the deep ball. And you're just quickly reminded early in that game that, holy shit, this defense is still nuts. It doesn't matter how many guys they lose, they reload. But the difference to me was the offense, because they had Jermaine Burton transfer. He was supposed to be their most explosive receiver. George Pickens was hurt last year for most of the season. He's the big play threat. He's with the Steelers now. Jermaine Burton transfers to Alabama, and you're thinking with Stetson Bennett at quarterback, they still had Brock Bowers, but you were wondering where they were going to be explosive on offense. You lose James Cook, you lose Zamir White, you lose all these guys, and you're like, they're still going to be really good defensively, but offensively, will they be able to maintain and be able to compete with the Alabamas and the Ohio States? And I mean, Oregon now has been clowned in 3 straight games against good teams. It got clowned twice by Utah last year, and it got absolutely obliterated by Georgia this weekend. But when you look at that team defensively, there are 5-star players on that defense. They've got NFL players in that front 7, and Georgia just completely wiped them from the face of the earth and did every single thing they wanted to. So I came into this season thinking Alabama and Ohio State, one of them is going to win the national title. Georgia will probably get to the playoff again, but they just don't have the offensive firepower to compete with Alabama and Ohio State, or at least beat both of them in a potential playoff scenario. After what I saw on Saturday, I suddenly think that Georgia's probably right up there with those two. I now think it's a 3-horse race, not just
Darnell Washington should be illegal.
Oh, my God.
All their tight ends.
I was shocked when I saw him step on the football field for the first time. I was like, it should be illegal to possess one of these in the United States because he's, 6'8"?
Yeah, he's
270?
6'7", 6'8", yeah. And he's a defensive lineman playing tight end.
They have 4 tight ends that are just they just roll them out and they just run over people. You're like, wait, who's that guy? So I agree with you. This is why preseason rankings are so stupid. Georgia won the national title, came out and beat a top 10 team, or I don't know, Oregon might have been 11, wiped them out. They should be number 1. My question on the flip side, though, how demoralizing must that be for Oregon? Because like you said, Mario Cristobal was stacking serious recruiting classes, top 10 recruiting classes, and they get on the field with them and they look like they're, it was like Utah State playing Alabama. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it's weird. It's hard to know exactly. It is demoralizing if you're Oregon because too, like you said, they got crushed that game. They got beat up by Utah twice last year, and that's a team that's it's weird because you think of the identity of Mario Cristobal and just the way he likes to play. you see them getting punched in the face and not really responding, and it kind of raises an eyebrow because it's like that's supposed to be a team that wants to get in there and wants to fight with you, and they just look kind of soft in that aspect, to be blunt about it. And it was certainly the case again on Saturday. But even Kirby Smart said after the game, because his former defensive coordinator is now the head coach there, and Dan Lanning, but he said he's like, we've just got better players than they do, which is like one way to be kind to your opponent, but it's also low-key kind of just like a devastating thing to say. Well, it's no big deal. We just got better players in there. That was just a scrimmage for us for most part. But I think if you're Oregon, you still take solace in the fact that you don't have to play Georgia again. And I think that the bigger story is not that Oregon is bad. It's that Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State have just ascended to a level that is so much better than everybody else that it's really not fair to judge any team based on what you see them do against those three.
Yeah. So we're keeping Ohio State in that conversation. Even after
I was actually impressed by them.
The moral victory by Notre Dame.
I have a theory, Tom. I would throw this out to you. I actually thought that was exactly the game that Ohio State needed. Because the way they lost to Michigan last year was they got punched in the mouth, bullied. They needed to win a game where it wasn't a track meet, where they weren't just ripping off 80-yard touchdowns. They needed to win a game where it's like, oh, we can play smash mouth, we can play grind it out, we can play body blow, finish the game out. Like, in a weird way, even though they didn't cover the spread, I was like, that showed that Ohio State can, because they'll win a ton of Big Ten games where they win by 60. But that was like, I was like, oh, Ohio State, in a weird way, impressed me with the way they won.
Yeah, and I mean, Notre Dame, let's be clear, Notre Dame played not to get blown out. That was the entire game plan that the Irish had. They were milking as much clock as possible, trying to limit possessions. So that way, and late in the game, that they were thinking, we just let the air out of the ball, keep it close, waste clock, and at the end of the game, we'll have a chance. We'll still be in it. We can see what we can do then. So I think that Notre Dame executed its game plan very well. Defensively, they're still a very good team. And I think on the other side of the ball, offensively, Ohio State did not look like the Ohio State we expected. I was saying, all preseason leading up to this game and all offseason, like, this is a team that's going to score 40 points per game. The key is whether or not you can keep up, and most people can't. And they didn't do that, obviously. But it's like we dismiss Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave both leaving and being first-round picks because they still have guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba. They have Julian Fleming. They have Marvin Harrison Jr. They have Emeka Egbuka. But Julian Fleming was hurt. Jackson Smith and Jigba gets hurt in the first series and doesn't really come back, and he's ineffective when he's out there. So now if you think about it this way, Ohio State's playing without its top 4 receivers from last season going into this game against a team that's ranked number 5 and has a very good defense. And they looked out of sync offensively until the second half when they finally got things going. Emeka Egbuka kind of came forward as the alpha guy for C.J. Stroud. He got into a rhythm. They started figuring things out. But like you were saying, too, for me, philosophically, one of the problems Ryan Day has had with Ohio State is he just refuses to run the ball sometimes. And there are times when Ohio State is able to run the ball against the team and they just go away from it. They get pass happy and it hurts them. He didn't do that on Saturday. He knew that running the ball was his best option. He kept feeding Mind Williams. He kept feeding Trevion Henderson. And on the other side, the defense, that was what's really been missing from Ohio State the last few years. Kerry Combs was basically, they ran 2 defenses like for the last 2 years, cover 1 or cover 3. That was really all you saw from Ohio State. Teams knew that. And their thought process was, we're so good that it doesn't really matter what we do on defense because we're just more talented than most of the teams we were playing. But when they would run into Oregon or Michigan in the snow, teams that were able to exploit it because they had the talent and the speed to do so, they got burnt. So Jim Knowles comes in from Oklahoma State, it's a new defensive coordinator, and Ohio State's doing all sorts of wild shit. Like, Zach Harrison, their pass rusher, is dropping back into coverage on multiple plays. I can't remember the last time I saw an Ohio State defensive lineman drop into coverage. They were just disguising things before the snap. They were going up against a young quarterback, confusing the living shit out of him. He had no idea what he was seeing before the snap. He had no idea what he was seeing after the snap. And that's the one thing I think that has kept Ohio State from really being a national title contender the last couple of years is we know they could score points. It was just defensively when it mattered, they weren't there. And on Saturday was the first time in a while that I saw an indicator that this team defensively is going to be good enough to compete for a title.
Yeah.
And where are we at on C.J. Stroud?
I think him and Bryce Young are the 2 best quarterbacks in the country. I think that they will be Heisman finalists. I think they will be in. I think it's a slow start for Stroud, but by the time the year ends, as long as everybody on that offense is healthy, he's going to put up ridiculous numbers. And the question is going to be, does Bryce Young put up the kind of numbers to where people are willing to give it to him in back-to-back years? And Bryce Young against Utah State on Saturday. Utah State, a team that won the Mountain West last year. Alabama beat them 55-0, and they kind of just called off the dogs after a while. It was 55-0 quick, and Bryce Young had over 200 something yards passing. He rushed for 100 yards, and that has always been a thing with me with Bryce Young because he is so skinny, but like he's always been hesitant to run at times where I feel like he could just easily pick up first downs, and he'll sit in the pocket and maybe end up throwing the ball away, and it's like, bro, if you just take off, it's first down. That was not the case against Utah State. He took off running. I do still kind of worry. It's like, I don't think he should run as often as he did on Saturday, but he had so much room to move. I don't think he was too worried about it, but he's kind of adding that element to his game this year. And if he does, maybe that's the one thing that he needs to do to become the first back-to-back Heisman winner since Adrian Griffin.
I find myself rooting for C.J. Stroud just so I can be like, Ohio State quarterbacks are good. It's fucked up. But I'm literally like, I'm hoping he's good just so I'd be like, yes, and Justin Fields will be good because C.J. Stroud's good.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It all works that way.
They come from the same system. Yeah, you can
right,
judge. You can judge the products like that.
Yeah.
Well, sticking in the SEC real quick, you were talking about Bryce. Big game happened the other night. I don't know if you saw it. It was kind of a crazy one. What is Brian Kelly's buyout right now?
Listen, LSU fans are nuts. You guys know that just as well as anybody. They are going to be going crazy, and that is, just to be clear, it's a weird cultural fit. Like it hasn't made sense to me. But LSU's win total going into the season was 7. Like, it's like that is exactly what that team was supposed to be. Like, Florida State fans are feeling great after winning that game, and they should be because that is just the kind of game Florida State hasn't been able to win. And frankly, when LSU is coming back at the end, that looked a little too familiar for Florida State fans because there's been too many times they've been in that situation and they've blown it. But, block the extra point, win the game, you feel great. But neither of those teams is very good. Like, LSU is going to be 7-5, Florida State's going to be 7-5, maybe 8-4 in the ACC. So it's definitely not a great start for Brian Kelly because it's like it's one thing if you lose and you just get outplayed, but they did. I mean, that was some like Nebraska special teams level shit from last season. Just the 2 muffed punts, the missed extra point, the missed field goal, just stupid stuff. And it's like if they don't get that wrapped up quickly, and then you got the Kayshon Boutte deleting all the LSU stuff from his Instagram account. They got to get that figured out quicker. It could be, LSU. They're not exactly. They don't wait around to pull a trigger if they don't want to.
Well, in good news, Brian Kelly spent, 45 seconds of his post-game press conference bashing the kid who fumbled twice. So, it will all go well.
What I thought was the most interesting part about that was he was going out of his way to say, like, yeah, that kid blew it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's on us as coaches for not realizing how bad he was and then putting him back there.
Yeah.
So that's on us for not recognizing. He did a good job of tricking us into thinking he was good.
It was pure Brian Kelly. Wait, we got to talk. I mean, listen, Tom, you're very good at college football, but Hank does have you beat because he had Anthony Richardson as his Heisman, 12 months ago. So, I mean, that was an insane.
Good call.
And I mean this in the best way, like he is such an awesome college quarterback. He could be a great pro too. But that like 2-point conversion pump fake, that was college football.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was college football. And that game was so electric. So do you want to apologize to Hank for, being way behind on this?
I just want to give Hank all the credit for being smart enough and having the foresight to realize that we had something special in our midst, and he recognized it before anybody else. So kudos to him for doing it. But Anthony Richardson is like, he's got cult hero like potential of just being the guy that every college football fan loves to watch. Like I saw there were comparisons being made on Twitter during that game. Like I saw people saying he reminds me of Vince Young. He reminds me of Cam Newton. And it's like, all right, let's pump the brakes a little bit there. But I understand where it's coming from because like you said, the plays that he was making and the stuff that he can do as a quarterback is just, it's not something you see a lot of guys in the country capable of doing. And he's not, your prototypical NFL passer. He's not going to sit there and just throw beautiful darts down the field and look like, Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. But he makes things happen. And that's a very unique talent, and it's not something you find a lot. And he's the kind of guy that can elevate an entire team. So this is a Florida team that suddenly didn't really have high expectations. And I also kind of worry, like for Billy Napier, it's his first game at Florida. first game, you're at home, you beat a top 10 team in Utah. Like, will that raise expectations too quickly for him and for Richardson? That would be something I'd be worried about. But I also think that he's talented enough. I mean, it's not like he came from nowhere. He's a 5-star prospect from Gainesville. So I think that he's got the ability to really improve that team. I think defensively, they got a little bit to work on still, and that could be their downfall against some of the better teams in the SEC. But the Gators, they might, I feel like people are a little too easily hyping up Tennessee and Kentucky in the offseason as like the second best team in the SEC East. I think Florida's very much in play to be that team.
But what you just said, Kentucky plus 3.5 on Saturday night. I mean, there's some Florida
suspension issues there we got to find out about.
Okay, all right. But Florida had, I always just play by the rule. If you had a game on campus that the entire team most likely is partying for 4 days, just go against them the next week. Because they are college kids and they deserve to party, but that was such an electric night.
Mm-hmm. No, that's perfectly reasonable take, and it is still Florida in the last few years. It wouldn't exactly be a shock to see them kind of fall flat on their face the week after a big win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then that would just set them up perfectly to play against Tennessee. And like you said, everybody's saying, oh, this is Tennessee's year, and then Florida beats them by 30.
Yeah.
That's kind of where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tennessee. That offense is really fun, but I feel like Vols fans are ignoring the fact that team scored 40 points per game last year and went 7-6. So it's like the defense is still a pretty big problem for that team, and I need to see that defense take a step forward before I really trust them.
I can't wait to take Tennessee plus 21 against Alabama and have it be 28-0 to start the game.
You're not going to win that.
I did it again.
Wasn't Tennessee beating Alabama in the second half last year? I feel like they were. They were definitely inside the number.
I remember Florida was giving Alabama hell for a while. I can't remember if Tennessee was.
I think Tennessee was giving Georgia.
Tennessee, I think, fucked with Alabama. But then Alabama put it away with 10 minutes left. They scored 4 touchdowns.
I think they might have. They might have.
That's a Tennessee fan's life right there. You can't ask me to differentiate between these losses. They're all heartbreaking in their own ways.
I want to say it was maybe 14-14 to start the game, and then it was all right. I'm looking up at the box score right now. It's 14-7 Tennessee, and then it ended 52-24.
Yeah.
So
then
they had a quarter. They had a quarter.
Okay, so speaking of moral victories against Alabama, what does Texas have to keep it within this weekend? So the spread's 20. We just looked it up. Quinn Ewers, by the way, I feel like Mike Leach just looks at Quinn Ewers and was like, how did I not get my hands on you, boy?
Didn't have the NIL money. Moral victory, honestly, if they could cover the spread, that's a moral victory. If Quinn Ewers just actually looks good in the game, if they lose but Quinn Ewers plays well, I think if you're a Texas fan, you're feeling pretty damn good about where you stand in the Big 12 going forward and offensively. But I'd also like to see defensively if they're capable of doing anything, because they're a lot like Tennessee I was just talking about. Offensively last year, I don't think Texas really had any problems. They've got really good players on offense. They have really good players on offense this year. Defensively, they couldn't stop anybody that was worth a damn. So that's going to be a key situation for that game, which is why I probably won't take them to cover the spread, but I don't think it's impossible that Texas is going to be able to move the ball and put up points on Alabama.
I like it. Okay. I like it. All right, what was your other big surprise or takeaway from week 1?
The biggest takeaway was that I did not realize Indiana had the money to pay officials like they did on Friday night to take away that touchdown. But other than that, honestly, this is a very minor thing, but I was surprised by how bad Louisville looked. This is a team that I had high expectations for coming in the year, and they went on the road to Syracuse and just got the shit kicked out of them, which I did not see coming. It's if they'd lost, that was one thing, but just how hapless they looked in that game. And it's an interesting situation for me just trying to think forward, because Scott Satterfield is already kind of not on a hot seat, but kind of a moderate seat. And now it's going to be heating up. And then I look at Purdue, a team that I feel like is not going to live up to the expectations placed on it after going 9-4 last year. We saw them lose to Penn State on Thursday night. And I just kind of looking in my crystal ball, and I see a situation in which Scott Satterfield is going to end up losing his job there, and Jeff Brom is going to be leaving Purdue to return to Louisville, which is just something I feel like has been in the works for years already.
Scott Satterfield, to remind people, when he was asked what his favorite part about Louisville was, he said the airport. Literally getting out of town.
Yeah.
He's like, the airport's pretty close. It's okay, cool, dude. The Illinois game, I was texting with Tom during it because I had Illinois, and it went from us rooting, he's obviously went to Illinois. It's come on, Illinois, let's do it, to finally just being fuck you, Tom. I hate your stupid football team. What the fuck just happened? That was, I watched 2 Big Ten games. I had Purdue and Illinois. They basically went the exact same, where it's like one team should have won, and it's just like, oh, here we go again. This game is slipping away.
It's great when you look at like the nerd box scores afterwards that do all the, like, this is what should have happened based on what happened in the game. There was one that had Illinois' post-game win expectancy at 90% and another that had it at 66%.
That's a pretty big delta there.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you. I mean, they should be 2-0, but they hurt themselves, and the refs really, really just, I mean, I have no idea how the hell they decided that wasn't a catch. But, you know, refs it's week 1 for the refs too, boys. Week 1 for the refs too.
Yeah, it's week 1 for the refs.
Like
that catch was
they
that
hate
drove me
Bielema
nuts.
too.
Yeah.
Bielema is a guy that a ref loves to stick it to him. You can tell.
Yeah.
He's got that face on the sidelines. It's like they almost see him as so much of a threat that they want to go out of their way to not get bullied by him, so they bully him first.
Yeah, but like if you watch like Brett, you know, he doesn't really get on him too bad compared to Tom Allen. Tom Allen looked like he was going to have a heart attack. He was screaming at him. He was going full Brian Kelly during that game, yelling at the officials, which is weird because Tom Allen kind of just doesn't seem like that kind of person. But man, he's on the sidelines. He gets angry.
We're going to get back to Tom Fornelli in a second. Before we do, he's being brought to you by CrossCountry Mortgage. We're known for having an opinion here, and to be honest, we're usually spot on. 99% of the time, we're 100% correct on Pardon My Take. Here's our newest hot take. It's not a bad time to buy a home. In fact, for some, it could be the perfect time. Look, with low to no money down or refi options that let you draw a line of credit with lower interest than a credit card, CrossCountry Mortgage has all your bases covered. CrossCountry Mortgage listens, understands, and communicates throughout the entire loan process. They provide more loan options tailored to your financial capabilities. They have innovative technology that focuses on what's important to fulfill your loan needs. They have faster closing times than the competition. They have stable monthly payments and low to no down payments. Access your equity to use for larger expenses, from debt consolidation to home renovations. And who doesn't love swag? Get a free Barstool and CrossCountry Mortgage sweatshirt when you sign up to refi or get pre-approval. While supplies last, of course. When you need an outfield assist, CrossCountry Mortgage has more than enough arm strength. See if you qualify today. Visit ccm.com/barstool now. CrossCountry Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. And now here's more Tom Fornelli.
I'm getting even more mad again about it because Indiana football fans, Indiana basketball fans, whatever. Like, and I have a lot of friends who went to Indiana, but Indiana football fans, there's a few online that are just the most unrealistic people ever. They won a few games in the COVID year, and they're like, this is the changing of the guard. Some guy tried to be like, yeah, remember Wisconsin, Indiana last time we played? And I pulled up the last 10, and I had forgot that Wisconsin put 82 on them once. Like, what are we talking about here? So, fuck really your team, sucks, Tom.
What really sucks is, like, I think Indiana basketball is probably going to be pretty good this year. So Illinois football not getting that win, just I probably could have used that a few months from now just to kind of hold on to. But now they're going to be able to lord that one over my head too.
I play that same game where it's like you gotta win one or the other. You can't lose both because you just can't lose both. You can't do it. I have a take. You know, we didn't have you on preseason, but I have Oklahoma as my dark horse fourth team because everyone, like you said, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, write them in. Utah was a team that a lot of people were talking about. That probably didn't eliminate them because they played Florida very tough. But what do you think about Oklahoma? Obviously, they killed. I don't even remember UTEP. No, UTEP. They killed UTEP. Are you buying Oklahoma, or are you thinking it's going to be the same old Oklahoma and they lose some random game they shouldn't lose and that disqualifies them?
It's very much in play. I'm not selling them. I'm just not fully on board because I think that part of me was just there was some natural reaction to like Oklahoma fans acting like it wasn't a big deal that Lincoln Riley left for USC and took Caleb Williams and all these other guys with him. Like, whatever, Lincoln sucked anyway. The team was going to shit with him. We don't need him. But like there is some truth in that. Brent Venables, you know, like one of the bigger problems Oklahoma's had in recent years is on the defensive side of the ball. And you know that with Brent Venables in charge, the defense is going to improve and be good. And then Jeff Lebby comes in with an offensive system that is not exactly, bad. He's put up points everywhere he's gone. He was most recently at Ole Miss. And you bring in Dylan Gabriel, who is familiar with the system. So it's like you look at that team going into the year, and even though it's a lot of new faces and guys you might not recognize that haven't been there, they're going to score a lot of points. That was the one thing against UTEP, because UTEP is not what I would call a great team, but UTEP is not as bad as it has been in recent years. They got to a bowl game last year, and Oklahoma just clowned them. I mean, there was really, they barely broke a sweat just beating up on them on Saturday, and the offense looked sharp. It looked good. They look like they're going to score a ton of points. If that defense takes the step forward like I expect, the two under Venables and that coaching staff, I think they're the favorite in the Big 12. But like you said, the key will be, can they avoid the stupid loss? Because I look at the Big 12 this year, and I don't think, I think Baylor's still good. I think Oklahoma is the best team. I don't think Texas is going to be great. I don't know who else in that conference is going to be great. So I just don't know that they're going to have a resume if they suffer a loss that's not a, ridiculous, really close game loss against either Baylor or Texas or whoever. If it's a bad loss, I just don't know if they'll be able to overcome it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play a quick game real quick. It's called which one of these ACC teams that barely won is the least fraudulent. First up, we're going to go NC State over ECU. Kicker missed that. Was it an extra point?
No, he missed an extra point. Then he missed the field goal.
Then he missed the field goal. Missed two of them.
Yeah.
We're going to go with UNC, App State, the craziest fourth quarter maybe in the history of college football.
Gene Chizik.
And then, you know what? Let's just toss Clemson in here. Clemson's going to win by, I'm first
3
reporting,
points.
7 points. It's going to be 7-0 Clemson over Georgia Tech. So let's just assume that score will hold up. So which one of those three ACC
Giving
teams
them sevens a lot.
is the biggest fraud?
This is tough because there's
Rank
a
them
lot
from
of
most
frauds.
fraudulent to least fraudulent.
Most fraudulent, North Carolina, Clemson, and NC State. North Carolina, first of all, I want to start by saying I think Drake May, their new quarterback, is really good. I think that, he's not just putting up numbers against bad defenses. I think that he's probably, an upgrade over Sam Howell. No offense. I know that he's with your Commanders now, but I think that they've got a better quarterback now.
Oh, really? Was Drake May, was he ranked number 1 going into this season in a mock draft and mini mock drafts that were published on the internet? Sam Howell was.
He might be next year because he's doing
next
some
year. So
special stuff back
let's
there.
hold off before we make these comparisons.
But their defense is so bad. They couldn't stop App State last week. They couldn't stop Florida A&M, and Jackson State, Deion's team beat them 52-3, and and FAMU was putting up 30 something on North Carolina. That defense is bad. They're going to lose a lot of games, but I would just take the North Carolina over every week. I think that's something we should all be focusing on. Clemson, based on what we're seeing so far tonight, looks exactly the same as last year. You're going to have to score 20 points on it to beat it. The key is going to be, can you score 20 points? Most teams won't be able to, but some will. And then NC State, that was a bad performance, but ECU is a tough place to play. And I think the bigger problem that North Carolina faced and NC State faced, and we saw Virginia Tech face, is why the fuck are you scheduling non-con games on the road against good G5 programs? And North Carolina's doing it again this week. They're playing Georgia State again this week. So after barely hanging on to beat App State, they're going on the road again for no reason to play Georgia State. It's just stupid scheduling. When you are the ACC and your reputation is already in the toilet, don't make things harder on yourself than they already are. Just play FCS teams in November like the SEC does. We can all make fun of them for it when it happens, but they're getting 10 teams into the bowls every single year. They're getting 2 teams into the playoff. It's almost like there's a reason that they do it, and maybe the ACC should take note.
Yeah. Why did they do that with Virginia Tech and ODU in week 1? Playing at ODU makes zero sense to me.
I mean, the North Carolina one was even more shocking to me because you're playing literally a school in your state that has been better than you at football. It's crazy.
Well, that same argument can be made for
ODU. Well,
ODU and Virginia Tech.
Was better last year, but App State's been good for a while.
It's like charity and nobility, pretty much. It's like they think it's the right thing to do, to play a road game at the smaller in-state school to help, generate revenue for them and sell tickets. But there's a very thin line in being gracious and being an idiot.
Yeah, I think people didn't realize that ODU's sick blue uniforms, those are worth 10 points a game.
And the dog with the Crocs.
Yes.
They have a mascot with dog Crocs. Yep. I mean, that was it right there. That was the game. All right, Tom, before we do the Mount Rushmore, one last question, college football. Rowback question, RHOBACK.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Q-Zips, hoodies, polos, everything. Rowback.com has it. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. We have to at least mention it. Classic college football, they change finally the playoff system to 12 on the Friday of Labor Day. What was your initial? Are you a 12-team guy? I hope you are, because
No.
you aren't.
I want to go back to the BCS.
Ah, fuck.
Two
Like
teams
computers
is all you've
decide
ever
everything?
needed.
Come on.
I'm not. Listen, I'm going to watch. It's the 12-team playoff. It's not like I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to ignore it and be like it's stupid. It's just I feel like a 12-team playoff is. My problem isn't with the playoff as much as it's with the attention that it gets. Because like if you go around the country this weekend, the best games were Pitt, West Virginia, Purdue, Penn State, Houston, UTSA, Florida State, LSU. None of these teams are probably competing for a playoff spot this year. And the one playoff game that you saw this weekend, or a possible playoff game that you saw, was Georgia, Oregon, because that was an 11 seed versus a 3 seed. And you see the gap that exists between the teams at the top and those next tier teams. Like there is a clear first tier of teams. And it just drives me insane when so much of the conversation is then focused around the college football playoff. And all of a sudden, if a team loses a game, the rest of their season no longer matters because they're not going to get to the playoff. And the argument for it now is that, well, if you have 12 teams, 6 highest ranked conference champs, 6 at large, more fan bases are going to have interesting games played in November. That's going to work for 2 years. And then if you're a Baylor fan or if you're a Wisconsin fan, and
8 playoffs in the last 25 years.
Yeah, but you're getting the shit kicked out of you every year you get there. And
8
all of a
playoffs.
sudden you're saying to yourself, you know what? I think I'd rather be playing South Carolina in an Outback Bowl and winning that game than losing by 35 to Georgia.
Okay, listen, you made some decent points. The counterpoint I would have is home playoff games.
That's the best.
That's going to rule. That's going to rule.
That is the one saving grace of this plan, in that you might see like Georgia have to go to Madison to play Wisconsin, or
Right.
Alabama have to go north to play Ohio State and Columbus, that kind of stuff. And those games will be in December. This isn't
Right.
like going to be a September game in Wisconsin. It's going to be December. It is going to be 15 degrees with 7 inches of snow on the ground. So that could bring an element of chaos that you haven't seen. But I like that. It's just most times, 90% of the time, it's still going to be the same 2, 3, or 4 teams that are reaching the championship game.
Why don't we
year.
just set aside the top 4 seeds and then have the other 8 teams play in a tournament to see who gets to advance to the semifinal rounds, or to the, I guess it would be the round of 8, wouldn't it? I'm trying to figure out how to protect like the institutional powerhouses so that we don't have to see
buys, yeah.
They're all going to have buys. Is that how a 12-game playoff works?
Yeah.
4 teams have buys, which actually
Okay, so at least we won't see the blowouts right ahead.
away. Yeah, and it's going to be very funny because the 4 teams that have buys won't get home playoff games, and they're gonna that's gonna change because they're gonna get so pissed.
Yes.
Like Alabama's gonna be like, wait, we want a home playoff game and all this money. Why don't we get one? We're too good to get a home playoff game. That's fucked up.
Yeah, and that's also too. It's like, it's weird to me that I understand why Notre Dame's part of it, but Notre Dame can never get a first round bye.
Yeah, that was actually by design because now they just always will have a home playoff game.
Yeah,
They're always going to be ranked between 5 and 8.
It's like you kind of respect that they're like, you know what? We're probably not winning many national titles right now anyway, so let's just cash in and get an extra home game out of it at the very least.
Yes, every year they will have.
It's actually
a home
genius. I
playoff
mean,
game.
like the fact of the matter is a 12-game playoff, it's going to be good because there's going to be more actual meaningful games on that we can like trick ourselves into believing that they're meaningful until they do play against Alabama or Georgia and get their ass kicked in the Final Four. But it's still, in the moment, it's meaningful, right? That's good for something.
Yeah, except we're all still stupid. So, like 5 years after it starts, we're going to want to expand it to 16, and then we're going to want to. It's
true.
just because it's going to be like, 12's not enough. This is getting boring. It's the same teams every year. We need to expand to get more variety.
Crazy idea. What if you did a 64-team tournament?
No, nobody's
And then,
ever
but
tried
then,
would never
then,
work.
no, then you got to expand that to 68,
Yeah.
and you have a couple games that get played the day before that tournament starts.
See, like that. This all speaks to like a philosophical difference between basketball and football. Is like the March Madness has Cinderellas because in a basketball game there are fewer players on the court, so there's more variance. Like a team can make a run, a few shots can go in, a few shots could not go in, and it changes things. That doesn't happen in a football game because it's 11 on 11, and the more talented teams win. Like the Cinderella stories in football football happened during the regular season. Cincinnati was the Cinderella story just getting to the playoff. UTSA was a Cinderella story last year, coming out of nowhere and competing for its conference. That happens in the regular season every single year. It doesn't have to be a postseason run to be a Cinderella story.
What about this? What about this? We just talked about Tennessee going up 14-7 against Alabama.
Cinderella story.
Yeah, what if we do 64-team playoff, but the entire first 3 rounds are just 1 quarter of football? That would be cool.
That's, and we could spin it as player safety.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then you can have just and you could play 2 days after. You know what I mean? You can just play 1 quarter.
5 games a week.
Yeah, right. That would be sick.
If Alabama had to play against, let's just throw out the entire top 10, right? So none of those teams, but every team that's ranked number 11 through, call it 100 in college football right now, how many teams could get out to a lead against Alabama? All you have to do to beat Alabama is just get a lead. It can be 7, it can be 3, it can be 2, but if you just have a higher score than them, boom, that's a win.
And we give them the ball first?
Coin flip.
Oh, see, that changes things. If you give them the ball first, I think there's a decent chance that a few of them could. If it's a coin flip, I don't know. I'd say 20 are capable, 10 would.
All right, so here's another idea. What if we just played a college football playoff, but it's against the point spread? So if you lose by 24 and the point spread was 27, you advance.
Who sets the spread?
Vegas.
I think if I set the spread, I'll be okay with it. But
that would be so much fun to be like, oh, Alabama won by 41, but the spread was 42, so they don't advance.
What if that's, let's just keep this, hold on. What if that's just an ex-professional sports league? Like it is. Like wins and losses aren't based on the actual result. It's based on whether you cover the spread.
Yes.
That would be so frustrating to be on a really good team. It would actually suck so bad. I would much rather be on the worst team in the league and then just stumble my way into a victory every now and again.
The Bears could maybe make the playoffs this year.
The NFL adds a new wild card team for the team that with the best ATS record that didn't make
I mean, come on. Those are always the teams that everyone loves the most.
Yeah.
Like
they are the
darling
stories.
Would it be funner if the teams did know or didn't know that they were playing against the spread?
Yeah, I think you have to reveal. Maybe you do like a big reveal at halftime.
Oh no, you reveal it after the game. You get both teams on the field, and it's like the ref has each coach has their hand in their hand like it's a UFC official.
Yeah,
you unveil the cards and then you raise Nick Saban's hand.
Do like a Price is Right showcase showdown where you have to be the closest bidder to the spread without going over.
Yeah. And then every team has to hire like an analytics department that's just bookmakers.
Now we're creating jobs. Look at us. We're coming up with these sports leagues. We're stimulating the economy. We should probably cut this out of the show and keep it to ourselves.
I'm in.
Tom, I do have one more question before we get to the Mt Rushmore, because you are on the Lowman Trophy Committee. I was wondering if you had any thoughts going into the season. What fullbacks would be on your watch list?
Good question.
I mean, it's the same as usual. Like Monty Pottebaum, what's his name? The kid from Indiana. Does Sean Shivers count as a fullback because he's built like a fullback, but Indiana doesn't really use a fullback? I think he's somebody that should get special consideration. He transferred from Auburn. He looked pretty sturdy against the Illini on Friday. Dan, who are your Wisconsin fullbacks this year? Is Chenal still there?
I think Rentmeester is still there. I don't know. Chanel's not there
I think there's
anymore.
like a younger Chanel.
Yeah, there might be.
That's the thing. Like with the COVID, it is so hard to keep track of like who still has eligibility left. Because like there are like every single game you're watching, there's a 25-year-old quarterback. It's just getting nuts.
Yeah, I think Army still has the Buchanan ball. Jacoby Buchanan.
There, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pottebaum's got to be I think he's the name on everybody's lips this preseason.
If he just picks up another couple of safeties, oh boy, nobody's gonna be able to stop him. I'm trying to think.
Like he could actually make a disproportionately large impact on his team's offense compared to other fullbacks in the game. Where he might get a couple good blocks, but if he scores 2 touchdowns this year, that's probably 50% of Iowa's team total.
What's fucked up is I think there are now more fullbacks in the NFL than there are in the FBS level of college football, or at least teams using fullbacks regularly, and that's kind of scary to me.
That is fucked up. That's the population chart. That's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. All right, so our fullbacks this guy's just meant to be a Wisconsin fullback. He's from Milwaukee. Riley Nowakowski.
Yep, that checks out.
Does he have a mustache? Because I feel like he was born with a mustache.
Very fullbacky name.
And then Zach Gludman.
Oh God.
who's definitely a fullback as well.
That
So
guy
yeah,
loves Lutefisk right there.
yeah,
Zach
yeah.
Ludman.
I still love the days that when Matt Bernstein ran for like 125 yards against Penn State.
Yes. Yep.
Rentmeester was, I can't remember how many years ago, but yeah, Wisconsin has just, fullback you.
Who was that fullback on Florida State that got that touchdown last night?
Oh,
He's their linebacker, but they
Yeah.
used him as a fullback. That was cool.
I cannot remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a fullback highlight play of the year. Put a pin in that one. The guy whose name we'll never say again.
That's a question I have for you. Just a point of order. How many snaps does a guy have to have at fullback to count?
I think less better.
So that's a good question because there was some disambiguation last year. Hayward, right?
Yeah.
He was at Michigan State.
He was tight end, H-back. They put him in the slot sometimes. He played fullback. He played everywhere.
I think the fact that he looked like a fullback, he had that like fire hydrant type build.
And his dad was
where he
Iron
looked
Head
like
Hayward. I feel like that's a legacy choice.
Exactly, yeah. And he just had that proportion where he looked like he was a like squished together gummy bear, just like a compressed gummy bear. So it's not an exact science, but it's like pornography. You know it.
Yeah, you know it when you see him. Yeah, for sure.
DJ Lundy was the name. I just looked it up.
There we go.
That was a linebacker who scored as a fullback for Florida State.
Okay, yeah, I like
Sunday
that.
night. Yeah.
Okay, any other fullbacks? I'm trying to remember.
I mean, it's hard to know, right?
Yeah, we'll
haven't
know
seen
when
enough
we see him.
offenses.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically the preseason watch list is every Wisconsin fullback,
Army.
every
yeah,
Army
yeah.
player. No, I'm gonna say like not just running backs in Army.
Yeah.
The entire Army roster is on the watch list.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna say somebody from Arizona State. Arizona State probably has.
Herm probably has one, yeah.
Yeah,
he's
he
got
definitely
fullback.
does.
Yeah, he's
Unless-
probably got a mullet right now.
He might not even use him, but he has one.
He might have transferred out though. They lost a lot of guys to the portal.
Herm carries a fullback like a handgun. He's got it in the case. He probably isn't going to take it out, but if he needs it, he will.
Yeah, you'd
What do
rather
you think
have
it's-
one and not need it than
Yeah.
need one and not have it.
What do you think it's like to be a fullback in the transfer portal? Like, how many people are calling you?
Well, you go to Madison and you just are like, I'm here. Hello,
It's like
someone.
any quarterback that enters the portal gets like 10 calls within 20 minutes. It's like a fullback just sitting there like whistling to himself, crossing his fingers. Somebody's gonna call.
I think you just go and start like squatting outside Paul Chris' office and like hopefully this works. And it usually probably would. All right, let's do it. Mount Rushmore. This is the finale of Mount Rushmore season. So Team Hank has been an abject failure. Just completely shit the bed the last week. So he's bringing in his counterpart. A lot of times people say that Tom steals his takes from Hank. And we figured let's do the Mt Rushmore of Italians because Tom is a proud Italian. I'm wearing my shirt that says not Italian, but supportive. Both my children are quarter Italian. So yeah, I can make those. I can make any joke I want.
I did a 23andMe, Tom. I'm 1% Sicilian.
There we go.
That's
It's your angry side.
So can I say the G word?
you can to me.
You
I
can just
don't know
text-
if you should say it on the show, but you can say it
Listen.
to me.
You can text it to me and I'll say it because, as I said, a father of two, of a quarter Italian. So I can say anything I
But
want.
you're not personally.
I'm personally not.
Okay.
But I helped create 2 quarter Italian kids, so I'm allowed to say whatever I want.
I think you're in. I think if you help create more Italians, that just makes you an Italian.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm set. All right, so just the ground rules. We're doing the greatest Italians. Should we all just agree that we're gonna let Billy take Mussolini?
Come on.
Oh, sorry. Did we take it?
No. Jesus.
That was your pick, wasn't it? That was your 1-1.
No.
What's wrong with Mussolini, Billy? Why don't you want Mussolini?
Well, he wasn't even the best like dictator in
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
the best? Yeah,
Who's the
rate
best
dictators.
dictator?
On your power rankings of Central European dictators of the late 30s, early 40s.
No, I'm just
who
talking
do you
about
have?
Italy. I'm just talking about Italy. There's much
Oh,
better.
my
There's
God.
There
much better dictators.
He wasn't even the best fascist.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Oh man.
Train's right on time, Billy. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That was really the biggest problem
I've
Italy was
honestly-
facing at the time.
I don't know how I've gotten this label.
Yeah, but you wear it well. All right, we're gonna. I think we won the
Yeah, we
last
did.
one.
We did.
Should we let Team Hank and Tom pick?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go around the room. So you guys can go first. Team Jilly can go second, and we will go third.
Tom, I think you should explain the first pick. Tom sent me a text, and I was very much on board with what his strategy was, and I think it plays. But I'll let him get the shot.
By the way, we should just say Tom did fully cheat. He tweeted out like, "I'm thinking about the best Italians," so he basically just crowdsourced it. He did ask me.
I have to crowdsource Italians.
Listen, it was a cheating maneuver, and you also fell for the trap because you texted me before. You're like, "Is it cool if I tweet this?" And I was knowing that I would bring this up to fuck Team Hank. I was like, "Yeah, go ahead, dude, tweet it." Blatant cheating.
I didn't want to spoil the topic. I didn't know the rules for Mount Rushmore. I think obviously 1-1 is a pretty obvious choice for our board. He's one of the greatest Italians alive, still alive today. Does a great job representing us on television. I'm going to take Mike Tirico.
Ooh,
good pick.
Nice pick.
Very
good pick, Italian Mike.
He's great.
Yes,
Great individual.
Very Italian. Very Italian.
Italian, pervert, both. That's really the kind of the
He
key.
checks all the boxes.
Big time pervert.
Everything you're looking for in Italian.
Yes. All right, Team Jilly.
We're going with James Gandolfini.
That was going to be our first pick. Good pick. Okay.
Like
Enough
Gandolfini or Tony Soprano?
Let's put a dash
Are we
in there.
discerning between the two?
you gotta pick
no.
one.
You got to pick one or the other.
Guys, Max, Jake, any input?
Just going to hang him out to dry?
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
The pick
I feel
was
like-
James Gandolfini.
James Gandolfini made us love Tony Soprano. So without
So
him,
which one's your pick?
is Tony's a more recognizable name or no? I feel like it's
Tony
James
Soprano's the pick. Tony
James
Soprano.
Gandolfini is the actor
Yeah.
that plays Tony Soprano, but he also plays other Italians.
yeah, we'll take Tony Soprano.
Okay, good.
Okay,
pick. I
great.
was going to take
Terrible
Tony
pick.
Soprano.
Terrible.
Of course we were.
Awful,
all right,
awful
what
pick.
should we go with? Should we go? I think we just go with our 2-3.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so we're gonna go Al Capone and John Gotti. Those are our first two picks. Great
Fine
Italians.
Great
They-
Great
Italians.
Italians.
You know what? They cared about their community.
Yep. The streets were a lot safer when those guys were around.
They were, you know?
It's-
Like, you could walk through your neighborhood and hold your head high.
You couldn't own a small business, but you knew that like there wasn't gonna be trash on the street.
They provided a service.
Right.
They did.
Exactly.
And they killed Kennedy.
right.
Yeah. hey. You can't prove that. All
Hey,
right?
we're not doing the Mount Rushmore of Irish guys. All right.
Mafia
So,
Al Capone is actually buried right across from my high school in my hometown.
yeah,
That's great.
And what did he have? Syphilis? Yeah, no, he had syphilis.
He died
right?
of syphilis. Yes. Just
Yeah, he went to I think Hot Springs, Arkansas, where they have the Arkansas Derby, Oaklawn. I think Al Capone used to go there because he thought like if he sat in a tub long enough, the syphilis would go away. So smart man too. Smart man.
science at the time.
Yes.
Not
All right,
great.
go ahead, Team Jilly. I love ours. Ours
And
would
he
win.
cheated on his taxes.
Yeah.
Heck, you'll appreciate that.
Yes.
That's a very Italian thing to do. Yes.
And he was trending the other day.
For what?
How many? Because when they raided Trump's
yeah,
Mar-a-Lago,
okay.
they were like Al Capone. So, yeah, he was trending.
Billy, what are
Still
your thoughts
relevant
on that?
today. What?
What are Billy's thoughts on what happened with Trump?
Billy's he's a big special master guy.
Can we just Italians?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Billy. Go ahead.
All right. This one we're gonna go with the character, not the actor. Rocky Balboa, the
Okay.
Italian stallion.
So you guys are only going with characters.
No.
Well, yeah, you went Tony
2-2.
Soprano.
Yeah,
and
so far.
Rocky
But-
Balboa. Okay. All right.
We got some serious real people coming up.
As real as John Gotti and Al Capone?
Realer.
That's as real
Realer,
as it gets.
realer than them.
Okay.
All right. That's a good pick. I just I wish you were picking real people instead of
Yeah.
portrayals
honestly-
of Italians. But
It's
that's
kind
fine.
of patronizing of Italian culture for them to pick like these caricatures
We have boxers and
when there are
and-
people out there that they work and they even create these characters.
Right.
Exactly.
But you're saying that like a fictional person is a better Italian than all the real blue-blooded, hardworking Italians out there.
It's pretty disrespectful, I think.
It is.
And in that same vein, our next two picks, similar people, similar mindsets, similar, legendary status. The first one being Julius Caesar.
Ooh, good
Good.
one.
That's my goat dictator.
Oh, nice.
really?
Yeah.
Because I'm surprised you like Julius Caesar,
Italian.
seeing as how he was the original capital stormer. There, he was a true patriot. He's the one who ended the republic. I can see why you like him a lot.
And then in that same vein, speaking of storming the Capitol, Ryan Russillo is our next pick.
Ooh, nice.
Good pick.
Yeah,
Another anti-tax guy.
You could have picked Simmons.
Yeah.
Half Italian.
Yeah, but no. What the difference is, like Russillo, when you look for an Italian, you're looking like a real Italian isn't afraid to put his nuts on the table or the couch sofa that he's sitting on at any given time. And Russillo, he's putting them out there for everybody to see. That's a real Italian right there.
Yes. Okay. Team Jilly, good picks. This is a strong Mount Rushmore.
We're going with Mario.
Oh, okay.
Mario.
Super Mario. Sticking
Drafting
with-
real
all right,
Italians now, huh?
We
Yeah.
pivoted
so-
there.
Yeah.
He's real in my
Plumber,
eyes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So plumbers, boxers, and mafia. That's all you got.
We have no mafia.
Tony
we have
Soprano.
mafia. We have mafia.
Yeah.
Waste management.
You could have picked an unbelievable actor in James Gandolfini.
Super Mario on the graphic.
Okay.
Okay, so are you taking him while Luigi is still on the board?
Waluigi.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Sleeper.
All right. What do we want to go with? I think
You
number
wanna- we can
number
go with our
5 for sure. But then who else? You picked the last one.
Okay, I'll do the last one.
All right. We're gonna go with Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore.
Another
Solid
non-tax guy.
Italian.
Great
Yeah.
Italian.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Oh, holy shit!
Oh,
So
well,
none
you
of
know.
these guys pay their taxes.
Yeah.
We came here. We made sure to check out how everybody else was doing it and said, all right, let's do it for ourselves. And that's really been working to our benefit. We had to establish ourselves in this country somehow. So we looked at who was in charge, how they got in charge, how they got their money. And we said, let's do it, but let's do it better than they did because that's the Italian way.
I like the idea of just being like, if we all cheat, they can't arrest all of us. And the IRS is like,
right.
yeah, we can.
Yeah. Well, we definitely
That's kind of what we do.
Yeah. You know what? We'll make a law too that anyone who associates with anyone, call it RICO.
Yeah. See? We were so good that they had to create laws to stop us.
That's true. That's
Skells.
true.
They were such skells that they had to create the RICO law.
All right. Last pick.
Our last pick, I'm going to go with, what do you think? Maybe the third one that I sent in this last one?
Yeah. I mean, he's a total double.
Yeah.
Dual threat Italian.
Silvio Berlusconi, the former prime minister. He had orgies while he made Bill Clinton look like Tim Tebow. He was just fucking everything, had his finger in every pie. That's an Italian expression, but also you can imagine what it means.
Literally, he was really Urban Meyering it out there. Yeah.
Yes, he was. What do you call them? The Boonga Boonga parties?
Yes.
That
I
they
mean,
were
and this
lit.
is a Mount Rushmore, so we should have like an actual president. So
Yes. He accomplished great things. Maybe not, but whatever. He was
but
there.
he's
AC Milan won the Champions League while he owned it.
There you go. Good enough for me.
Thank you, Tom. We need some help with that. All right, Team Jilly, your last pick.
Max, would you like to announce our final pick of 2022?
I would be honored. This is a personal favorite of mine. I'm going to go with Frank Sinatra.
Oh shit!
That's a great
a
pick.
great pick.
Good pick,
That's
good
a
pick.
great pick. Damn it, we should have done
That was
Max.
so classy what Jake just did. Did you
Yeah.
notice that?
Yeah, that was. He basically was like, Max, go ahead, pick Mr. Irrelevant. It brings him out.
Billy was running to draft Nero, and Max saved the day by taking Frank Sinatra. It's a great choice.
All right, your guys' last pick.
I feel like, Tom, you should just whatever comes to your mind. We still got a lot of people on the board. I think you should just go for it.
Oh man, I don't know. It's like our number 2 is still there, but I feel like I don't know if this is the time to take it. Yeah, fuck it. No, I'm gonna go with Chef Boyardee.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
I mean,
Good
nice.
choice.
I learned how to cook from my grandmother growing up, but I mean, we all talk about our Italian grandmothers and their raviolis, but I've still to this day never had a better ravioli than the one made by Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, the
Yes.
beef ravioli. Somehow it tastes better when it's cold than it does when it's heated up.
Yes,
Just
yes.
fantastic.
All right, what did we miss? Papa John?
Not
Max
Italian.
Homa.
No, I mean, he's Italian. Come on, Papa John's Italian.
We had Sacco and Vinzetti on our
Oh
list.
yeah,
Yeah.
Didn't
anarchists.
take him. RIP.
Machiavelli.
Yeah.
Ma-
How How about Robert De Niro and Al Pacino?
It's quality Italians, not on my list, not on the list.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want the rest of my list? I'll give it to you.
Yeah, let's hear
What
it.
about Ponzi, the guy that invented the Ponzi scheme?
Yes.
Again,
Ray Liotta.
that's Italians invent a lot of things. I had Fat Tony from The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
Adrian Brody from
Yep.
Peaky Blinders with the most offensive performance of an Italian I've ever seen. Noted pervert R. Kelly. Your
Big
favorite
time.
Dan Marino.
Yep.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Paulie Walnuts. And, of course, Lieutenant Aldo Rain and the Inglourious Bastards.
Nice.
Yep.
Mike Piazza,
Chris Cuomo.
Chris
Andrew
Cuomo,
Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo,
All
yep.
the Cuomos.
The Cuomos.
Cuomosexuals.
Cuomo sexuals,
time.
yeah.
Pontius Pilate was
Hey.
Italian. Listen,
No
talk about your
Christianity
all-time.
without
Your
Pontius
all-time
Pilate.
that's true. He kind of saved everybody's life. Also, maybe the biggest heel, right? He killed Jesus. So that's if you like a bad boy.
Christopher
But-
Columbus.
Yeah.
That's a good one, but might not be Italian.
Oh,
Yeah, it might be like Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
Yeah.
So
wow.
The Italians claim him though.
What about I thought you were going to go with like Da Vinci and Michelangelo.
I said the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, it's true. You're right. You nailed them all. I mean, this was a great Mount Rushmore. Great ending. It just became so wait, what were give us your picks again, the 4 that you have. What was yours, Team Hank and Tom?
We had Mike Tirico, Ryan Russillo, or Julius Caesar, then Ryan Russillo, and then Chef Boyardee.
Okay, and then Team Jilly.
We had Rocky, Tony Soprano, Super Mario, and Sinatra.
Hey, you guys had a good one.
That's
and
a
then we
good
had Al Capone, John Gotti, The Situation, and then Silvio Berlusconi.
See, I feel like your team is a little too similar. You didn't really, you don't have enough.
Oh,
it's
no,
not-
what we said, I think my exact text to memes and PFT was, I kind of want to make a mockery of this and go with all mobsters.
We'll see. I was telling Hank, I figured you guys were going to go that kind of joke route. That's why we went Tirico 1-1. We just wanted to throw you off your game.
You did. That really. I think that was a good choice.
That was. I only
Very
regret
good
not
choice.
doing Sinatra. I think if we had Sinatra in the 4th, we would have won this.
Yeah, I was
Vinny
trying to come up with too
Testaverde.
many joke answers. I didn't really think of actual Italians.
It's all just about the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Great
true.
Mount Rushmore season, everyone. Tom, thank you as always. We love having you on. Everyone check him out on Twitter. He writes columns. He has picks. The Georgia Tech, they just scored a field goal. So,
14-3.
yeah, I know. I have Clemson first half. It's going to suck. So, all right. Well, Tom, thanks as always, man. We'll talk to you soon.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Tom Fornelli is being brought to you by our good friends over at Roman. Tom actually wanted me to tell you guys about his favorite product. That's Roman Swipes. They're convenient over-the-counter wipes that are clinically proven to help you last longer in bed. They're uniquely formulated to reduce overstimulation without eliminating sensation altogether. In a 2019 study, they were proven to increase time to orgasm by more than 4x. That's incredible, Tom. I did not realize that. To use, just remove the disposable swipe from its discreet pocket-sized pack, wipe on the most sensitive parts of your penis, you know the part that I'm talking about, and allow to dry for about 5 minutes. When used as directed, Roman swipes leave no scent or taste, so there's no transfer to your partner. They're safe, effective, and no prescription is needed. All swipe orders include free 2-day shipping and arrive in unmarked packaging. Try today for as little as $2.75 per swipe. Try Swipes today with a special offer just for our listeners. Get 20% off your first order of swipes at GetRoman.com/PMT today. That's GetRoman.com/PMT for 20% off. This Mount Rushmore is also going to be brought to you by Simply Safe. The numbers don't lie. In the last decade, over 4 million people have chosen Simply Safe Home Security to protect their home. You don't earn the trust of that many people without doing something right. At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. I know because I use Simply Safe myself. They protect you with cutting-edge security, powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back with the best technology in the biz. They have 24/7 professional monitoring, so Simply Safe's agents call you the moment a threat is detected, and they dispatch police or first responders in an emergency even if you're not home or even if you can't be reached. Their monitoring experts use proprietary advanced response technology. They visually confirm when a break-in is real, so you can get the highest priority police dispatch. I love Simply Safe. You can arm and disarm the system and watch cameras all through the app. You can customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/PMT. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. Go to simplysafe.com/PMT. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Okay, we're going to wrap up the show with Football Guy of the Week. And, Billy, your first ad read on PMT.
Second,
When did you do another one?
like 2 years ago.
Fuck yeah. So you're a seasoned vet.
Exactly.
All right, so, Billy, who is Football Guy of the Week brought to you by?
Football Guy of the Week is brought to you by Body Armor. This season, you know your favorite players are hydrating with Body Armor Sports Drink on and off the field. Body Armor Sports Drink is more than a sports drink. Body Armor Sports Drink is the choice for hardworking hydration. It has potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, B vitamins, plus no artificial sweeteners, flavors, and dyes. Available for purchase in-store and on Amazon now. Go get you some Body Armor.
Okay,
Yes,
great
Billy.
job,
Good job,
Billy.
Billy. Did you
Great job.
just ad-lib that end? Go get you some body armor?
Yeah.
That's a great tagline.
Yeah, it is.
Go
Yeah,
get
it
you
is.
some body armor.
Go get
It's
you
good
some.
stuff. I drink it all day.
All right, so
Now you're
Billy.
getting fun with it. Just stick to the.
Yeah.
Go get you some body
Let's
armor.
not get crazy. Billy, Football Guy of the Week is back.
I know, I'm hyped.
All right, so let's go.
So first guy we got is Justin.
How many high school players do we have this week?
Only one. Only one, but it was sick.
It was,
Okay,
I'm
all right,
sure
as
it
long
was.
as it was sick.
Did you do anything with a pancake or anything?
No,
Okay, all right.
no. We have Justin Houston, outside linebacker for the Ravens. So the Ravens have two outside linebackers on their 53-man roster. So that means that they're going to have to be playing a lot, the two guys. So Justin Houston, one of them, he said, quote unquote, if they need me to play every snap, I'm playing every snap I can play. They'll carry me off the field before I quit. I was told you'll pass out before you die, so I'm willing to pass out.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. That is a very
smart.
Football Guy thing to say where it's like,
I think that's medically correct. Also,
Yeah.
like if you're going to die, you have to stop not being passed out first, right?
and also like, I would rather be so tired that I don't come out of the game than possibly take a break and help my team out.
Yes.
Football Guy.
Yes, football guy, absolutely.
Yeah. Like if you need a break, don't take it.
This second one comes from the NFL offensive line coach for the Panthers, James Campen. So before the Panthers preseason game, James Campen was just smelling a football.
Yeah.
Just like he just was talking to Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold about how much he loves the smell of footballs, especially the laces, and he's been doing it since high school. And there's just a video of him just like snorting a football.
I like that. Just
Yeah.
chopping up a football.
He's standing with his back to the goalpost, just like sniffing this football.
I like that.
By the way, this kid for Clemson is a future Hall of Famer.
Did you see? I just saw him
Cade
roll out.
Klubnik, yeah. He's their freshman. He just got in the game for mop-up duty. Yeah. Eyeball test. I've seen 5 passes from him. Hall of Famer. Talking gold jacket, folks. Where were you when we said this?
Cade Klubnik.
Klubnik. He's
Yeah, I've
legit.
heard about this guy.
And again, I just saw the eyeball. I mean, he's a true freshman. He's like 18 years old. Yeah. Yeah. Just remember, in like 25 years, Cade Klubnik should have us intro his Hall of Fame speech.
This kid, this quarterback at Clemson.
Yeah.
I think he's good.
This kid, no, this kid, well,
Oh, wide
that's
open.
that. Did you see the quarterback that was playing the majority of the game? Not good for Clemson.
DJ Uiagalelei.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, was that Dabo's kid who just cut? Wait,
No, Dabo
know.
does, I think, have a kid on
He
the
does
team.
Yeah,
have a kid
he's
the
on
team.
the field
but
right
that's
now.
completely irrelevant. That kid would be on the team even if his dad wasn't the coach.
Yeah. Oh, now they're showing the Uiagalelei, and he's probably like, fuck, that was an easy drive. I know it's against backups, but whatever. All right, keep going, Billy.
our third football guy of the week is reoccurring guest Sam Pittman. Arkansas, after the game, he was getting interviewed. They were asking him how he was going to celebrate his win, and he said with a nice cold Coors Light. He doesn't condone it, but he doesn't want to promote it, but he was saying he was going to drink some nice cold beer after
And
the
old
game.
and cold.
Yeah.
Old and
He
cold.
made up a new expression.
Yeah.
That's cool. He does have maybe the coolest picture of him with Coors Light ever. Have you seen
Yeah.
that old picture?
No, I actually haven't.
Back when he was a player?
Oh,
I'll send it in the group chat. It's
actually
awesome.
It's like wine.
that would be a sick T-shirt.
I love Sam Pittman so much.
Old and colds.
And last one, this comes from high school, but I was watching this highlight from Arch Manning's high school game.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. All right, this actually plays. He
Yeah.
fucking dropped that in a bucket.
Right. But the Arch Manning isn't the star of this video.
Agreed.
He isn't the most football guy. So I'm watching this, and then I realize, okay, the pass was it was a great toss, a great catch, and then the guy just gets nailed by the safety over the middle. But then I realized that there was a guy chasing him with no helmet on for like 30 yards, chasing down the tight end that was getting the pass. And this guy has no helmet and just straight up goes and levels this guy. That is football guy material like that. That's an 18-year. That's a jacked up 17-year-old probably was drinking way too much pre-workout during the game.
Yep.
And that's just awesome stuff.
I
tried to find his name.
He launched himself into it.
Yeah. No helmet.
All right.
Football guy.
That's good job, Billy. That was
good,
a very strong 4. So Jake will blog it, or you blog it.
I blog it.
You blog it. Vote. And then, like we always do, we're going to try to get a few of them on this year. Whoever wins Football Guy of the Week to give them their award. We should start sending out.
We should, maybe just like just a nail.
Yeah.
Just like mail somebody a nail. The male nail.
What if we just
The
sent
nail man.
Yeah, the nail man. I like that.
a single nail?
Yeah.
Or maybe a nail.
The part might take the nail man of the week.
We should know what we should do is we should send them a nail and a football, and then be like,
A symbol.
just so you know, assembly not included, and then be like, just so you know, there's a forwarding address, so you have to send that to the next week. So we don't have to. We only have to send one out.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So it becomes
Just
like a-
weight off our shoulders.
It becomes chain nail.
Yeah. So hopefully, Sam
Brotherhood
Pittman,
of the traveling nail.
yeah, whoever wins it the first week, like, be cool, dude.
Yeah.
Send this nail and this football to someone else.
Should we just nail a football?
Yeah.
Like pound a nail into the football, and
Into
that
the football.
will be what you get.
But
And
we
then
got to pound it in where it's like, when you sometimes you get a nail in your tire and it's like it doesn't go flat.
Yeah.
So it gets so perfectly in there.
But
that the football stays.
I don't think that you can mail something through the air that's inflated like that. I feel like the air pressure will get to it.
I mean, we can do whatever we want.
Okay, so who do we
We put it in the hole,
in the hole?
the air hole.
Yeah, we could put it in the air hole.
put the nail in the air hole. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. I like how this is coming together.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
We're not going to do any of this.
No,
But it was
I'll
a
do it.
great idea. It was
Billy's
a
gonna
great
do it.
idea.
I'll
Oh,
find
you're going
one.
to send it?
Yeah, I'll find one, send it.
Billy.
Well, who's going to win?
If you can just send it to the first person
I know.
and write a letter saying it is your obligation to send it on, I will consider a job done by you.
Perfect.
Like you're washed clean of this whole thing. But then we got to try to get it back at the end of the year.
The only thing is I've been trying to find this high school kid's name, but his number is
Yeah,
on
maybe
the roster.
don't. Yeah, no, nah.
We
You
can do
don't-
this just for NFL players.
Yeah, we
too.
don't have to. We don't have to stalk a high schooler.
Yeah. hey, what's your home address? These guys from the podcast want to send you a fucking nail.
A nail. All right. All right. Let's wrap up. Go to ParamountPlus.com to start your free trial to watch your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, as well as additional exclusive NFL content. We will be back tomorrow with Pete Prisco and Stu Feiner. Numbers. Thank you to Paramount Plus for sponsoring the lottery ball machine. Again, go to Paramount Plus to start your free trial to watch your live local NFL on CBS every Sunday.
51.
7.
26.
27.
56.
What was your number, Hank?
7.
Have you ever won this?
I have not.
Dude,
Really?
I'm 0-0 in my last.
64.
So fucking
That Sam Pittman picture is awesome.
84. Whoa.
Oh, people who had 64.
Oh,
would be
yeah.
so mad at you.
I Steve
Oh, yeah.
Harvey'd that. I Steve
Oh,
Harvey'd
no.
that.
It was 84?
It was 84.
Yeah, but
84.
64 people just celebrated.
I'm not used to reading the one-sided numbers because
Yeah,
the
it's tough.
other balls have 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides.
Love you guys.
Ooh, that's 2 out of 3.
Wild boars are.
Wait, what?
Our last yellow ball was 84. Then we had 2, and now we have 84 again.
Holy shit.
2 out of 3.
That's
Hot streak.
yeah.
Love you guys.
Wild boars are invasive creatures that cause millions of dollars of property damage a year. They're from Europe.